What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Teach Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Teach Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Teach Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Teach Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with us. Let me get my levels right. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, friends and family? I appreciate y'all for continuing to rock with us. How my mic sound? Is my mic good? We good in the hood? We good in the building? What's going on, family? How y'all feeling today? We got a full show for y'all today. Mic is kind of low. Let me see if I can get that up a little bit. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1. There we go. There we go. All right. So we should be nice and loud. We should be nice and loud now. A little too loud. Testing, 1. A little too loud. Testing, 1, 2. We should be nice and loud. We should be good now. It's still a little low? Shouldn't be low. Shouldn't be low. Testing. Shouldn't be low at all. We should be nice and comfortable. We should be nice and comfortable, nice and loud. You know what I'm saying? What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate y'all. I see y'all in the chat. K. Cooper, Joe Gunn, Real Life PJ in the building. Jason A-Team, strongest nerd in the building. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for everybody. Everybody that's tuned in, everybody that's rocking with us. I am good. You are good. We are good. We got a full show for y'all today. So I don't want to delay. I want to get right to it. I'm going to read the super chats and the cash apps as soon as we get to it. But it's so much going on. We got to cover everything that's happening with Iran, the United States of America. Let me just give you a little bit of a preview of what we got going on today on the Millionaire Morning Show. First and foremost, I would love for y'all to tune in and send this to your friends and family if you haven't already. If you haven't joined the Patreon, make sure you join the Bag Chasers. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. The best time to join the Bag Chasers is the beginning of the month. And then shout out to our partners, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. We popping with the Teej, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Teej Henley, shout out to the sponsor of the show. We love them. And shout out to everybody that supports the platform. I appreciate y'all. All right, y'all, let's get to it. Let's get to it. What up, though, Joseph? Let me give a shout out to the chat before we get started. Chat is my co-host. What up to Joseph, Lil Rock, K Cooper, Purple Haze. Purple Haze says hit the like button on your way in the door. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications. Azriel, Purple Haze, I see you. Matt Games, K Cooper, Real Life PJ says T just dope. What up, Miss K? I appreciate you. Losway. Trees, I see you. I see all of my friends. Slan Sells Cars, Tam, Quezzy, Unique, Josh, Jesse, Jason 18, Top Notch, I see you. Terrell, what up? What up, Terrell? I see you, big dog. Martin Lavio says, Mr. Anton, what up? Eric T. Mac, I see you. Shout out to my dog 2K. Your car is in the building. Roscoe, Late Night with Desmond. What's going on? The John Journey Journal. I see all of y'all. My girl Sabrina, Don the Architect, Will Nola, Fi Brown is my dog forever. Wesley, Patrick, DJ Vapors. Yannick, I see you. I see you. Vitor Royale, what up, though? Lion King, Majestic, Ava Kiss, Crown, Bad Habits, Limitless Minds. What up, y'all? What up to everybody that's joining the show? And for those of you that are late, you just going to have to rewatch this part of the show all over again. All right? So, again, if y'all not a part of the Patreon, make sure you tap into the Patreon. The best time to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. And let's go ahead and get started with the show. So, first things first, let's just go up with the latest updates with what's happening over in Iran. U.S. embassies was bombed, specifically over in, and I'm going to read the super chats. I'm going to get to the cash apps, but I just want to get the first part, the beginning of the show off. U.S. embassy was bombed over in Saudi Arabia, so everybody is on high alerts. The Trump administration well, not the Trump administration. The United States of America is shutting down U.S. embassies in certain places in anticipation of big things. All right, let's get to it, y'all.
A source telling Fox's Jennifer Griffin that the U.S. Embassy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia was hit by 2 drones. A third is apparently en route and could strike at any moment. And the embassy is now issuing a shelter-in-place for citizens in Saudi Arabia as the U.S. government has put all citizens in the region on high alert and urged those in 14 different countries in the region to leave immediately. And more than ever, I mean, since really 9/11, the U.S. is on high alert for any attacks here on the homeland. The FBI is investigating that shooting in Texas and Austin for possible terror connections, where the 53-year-old Nigada Giagni was wearing a sweatshirt that said property of Allah, that might be a clue, and a t-shirt with the Iranian flag on it. He opened fire outside a bar in Austin this weekend, killing 2 and injuring 14. He's a naturalized citizen from Senegal. He was shot and killed by police, and they're still really trying to secure the motive for this. Meanwhile, there's a growing fear tonight about sleeper cells in the U.S.
Of course, we're paying attention to any potentialities there. This is a former regime, that seeks to export that ideology and try to sow terror. We're ready for that. We've seen these types of folks before, and the American people can rest assured that we're vigilant on that.
I watched Peak Hegseth. I watched his conference, I guess you can say. And I was looking at it and I was listening to what he was saying. And let me say this. I believe, and I have been saying this, I don't know if y'all remember me saying this, but I said this a long time ago when Trump first got elected for the second time, right? And I said this, I said, I believe that one of the reasons why the Trump administration was so vigilant and so dedicated and so unyielding when it came to deporting people and vetting people and getting people up out of here and offering them ability to be able to deport themselves, self-deportation. They turned the CBP One app into the CBP Home app. One of the reasons why they wanted so much for these people to be deported and to get them out of here, if you were not here legally, if you were not vetted effectively, if you did not go through the proper channels, was not just because they didn't like Biden. It's because they anticipated different people moving over here and being here covert, doing some of the worst things and possibly harming American citizens, especially considering possibility of what if we invaded Iran? What if we supported Israel? What if we, started to deal with Taiwan? What if we, remove Maduro from Venezuela? I do believe that. I said it a while ago. I said it a long time ago. I'm saying it again. So when I see these middle-aged liberal apologists and black people that support the Democratic Party, I basically narrow it down to you supporting terrorism in this country. Because not only do they terrorize us when it comes to our tax dollars and taking advantage of American citizens and sending the money home and defrauding American citizenship, that is a form of terrorism, if you ask me. That is a form of terrorism. And so I've always believed that these people were over here and that not only are there people that were leaving their country and coming over here illegally because they just wanted a better opportunity, but there were too many people that were coming over here that weren't for American values. And it's a possibility that they can have a sleeper cell here or multiple different sleeper cells. So let's back up for a minute. How culpable is the Biden administration, is Kamala Harris, in allowing for tens of millions of people that they don't even know who they were inside of this country? How responsible are they, or were they, in allowing for this country to be overran by illegal migrants? Better yet, how dumb do you have to be chasing around and fighting ICE agents that are trying to get people out of this country that's not supposed to be here? How stupid. And of course, the Trump administration can announce it and say, hey guys, there may be terrorists lurking amongst us, and we got to get these people up out of here. And we got to make sure that we do everything that we can to protect American citizens by any means necessary. Because even at the State of the Union address, when he talked to Congress, and he asked the Democrats and he said, listen, do you place the interests of the American people before people that are not supposed to be here and illegal migrants? And they all sat down and they start yelling at him. What I believe is happening right now is you are seeing it with your bare eye. Like, there is no more cloaking and shielding. You're seeing the true traitors of this country. You are seeing, and you've been seeing it for a long time, but hopefully it just hits you like a Mack truck now, because what we've been experiencing here in the United States of America is nothing less than treason. And treason due to ignorance make you no less culpable or responsible for being treasonous. But the reality is that I always ask myself, how can you be a supporter of the Democrats? How can you be a supporter? Forget the trans in bathrooms and transitioning kids as though that wasn't bad enough. Forget all of these liberal issues that they're putting at the forefront: diversity, equity, and inclusion, racism, all of this stuff. Forget all of the BS right now. Let's talk about real life and death. How can you be a part of a party that clearly supports the opposition? They supporting the ops, and you paying for it. We paying for it. We got to pay for it with our tax dollars, but we supporting the ops. I look at the people that come inside of this chat and they so mad. They be mad at the Trump administration for getting people. What are you mad at? What could you possibly be mad at? What is it that Trump did to you instead of doing for you. Matter of fact, what did the Democrats do for you? What did Biden or Kamala Harris, and all of the time, because you're talking about lifetime politicians. Remember, Trump just got into office in 2016. Trump is a 5-year politician. 5 years. He's only had 5 years in office, and he's done more than Biden, who had been there for 50. Kamala Harris, every job that she has ever had has always, and I mean always, been on the behalf of the American taxpayers paying her salary. Now she's selling books during the time of war. Let me ask y'all a question. What has Democrats ever done for you? At any point in your life, since you've been born, what has they ever done for you? So now that we sitting here proactively trying to neutralize all of these different countries to make sure that they don't continue to fund terrorism and war and destroy people in Ukraine, and we got to continue to fund these forever wars that was started that was allowed by the Democrats. Now that we trying to shut this down completely, because we've been talking about it since before I was born, since the 70s. And the Trojan horse were the Democrats and the liberals that support him and continue to vote him in office. And this is why we don't listen to women. I'm going to keep it 100. Listen, I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. This is why we don't listen to women. And it's not that women are bad. It's that women, especially in leadership, make emotional decisions based off of how they feel instead of making the uncomfortable decision that everybody may not like, but we know is best. I equate Kamala Harris, for example, and Elizabeth Warren and AOC and Ilhan Omar. I equate these type of people who are ignorant and couldn't even answer a question in Munich, neither here nor there, as people. They would be the type of mothers. And notice, none of them got children. None of them got children. So who's they babies? Liberals. And you know what they do? They feed them candy. They gentle parenting. They want to be their friends of their children. And the daddies of the world, the ones that actually got to do something because they care about the future of this country, we got to say, you know what? No more candy. You got to eat your vegetables. And then the people, because they don't know no better, because that's what children are. They're ignorant and they don't know any better. They don't know that they got to eat their vegetables or they got to eat their fruit, and they can't eat candy for dinner every single day. And so what the people do is they throw a tantrum. Orange man bad. I'm so mad at you. And you go in your room and you slam the door and you say, I'm going to run away when I get older. So we got to drag you along to do what's best for you while you kicking and screaming and throwing a tantrum the whole time in the store. That's what I equate this to. And all of y'all, all of you that stood with diversity, equity, and inclusion and wanted somebody based off of their identity and voted on them because they were black or they're a woman and all of this other stuff, all of these years, you stood there and you let a vegetable get inside of the White House over the last 4 years. And then he solidified the black vote by throwing somebody in front of y'all that was married to a white man. And you said, we got to vote for her because she black and let her come on the church pulpits. It's your fault. It's your fault. You stood there silent the whole time. When they let tens of millions of people over here, you stood there silent the whole time. And you pretended, black culture, like you really cared about, man, we want our reparations. Man, everybody tethers. Man, we got to put black people first. Black lives matters. Meanwhile, they was letting everybody, all the criminals, all the Iranian sleeper cells, all of the terrorists, they was coming in here with flags. You say, yeah, them people. Jesus.
We're going to get to this issue of sleeper cells in the U.S., the threat to the homeland, in 1 second. But we're going to go to Chris Wecker, former FBI assistant director. Chris, I want you to chime in on this breaking news that we're getting. The drones that Iran has activated have been, to many, surprisingly lethal. But drone warfare has become really the go-to choice for regimes in the region, obviously in the Ukraine war as well. Your reaction to this news about the U.S. Embassy? We don't know anything about damage or injuries, loss of life, but this is breaking right now.
Yeah, Laura, we've seen, as you mentioned, we've seen drones in the battlefield in Ukraine. It's a game changer. And again, our embassies are targets across the world, across the globe. They can get to one, they will, and it looks like they may have penetrated with their drones. And in this instance, look, I think we really got to worry about drones here in the U.S. as well. I mean, they're pretty prevalent. We haven't really demonstrated any real capability to stop drones in the United States. They're flying around everywhere. So that's an added concern. But, you know, drones are really, they're a weapon of choice for terrorists. Yeah,
we're way behind on drone production. Obviously, most of them built in China, 70–80%. Many also built in Ukraine. But we basically offshored our drone capacity and a lot of the individual component parts as well. So that's what President Trump's trying to ramp up. Chris, some good news. Jennifer Griffin is saying now that the U.S. Embassy in Riyadh was empty at the time these Iranian drones struck. So there are no injuries. So that is some good news. But let's get back to this concern that it looks like DHS, the FBI, are not overstating their concern that with the number of individuals who crossed our border over the last several years, especially under Joe Biden, we really don't have a good sense of the threat to the homeland right now, given how many people from Islamic countries are here and those who may have some sympathy with the former Ayatollah and his regime.
Yes, I know. I mean, I know the intelligence agencies are working overtime, but those 4 years were devastating when it comes to not tracking potential terrorists. I mean, Hezbollah was here; they had cells here before that. But
I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I hear y'all saying we're not behind with drones. I have a segment on drones here in the United States of America, to where I can debunk that. But again, this is why we have to do our own research and better understand exactly what's going on. We're going to talk about drones. We're going to talk about Marco Rubio and what he said. We're going to bring back what Trump said yesterday. We're going to talk about everything, all right? We're going to bring Netanyahu, broke his silence. He spoke on it. So we're going to talk about all of that today. Don't worry, we'll get to it.
It's impossible that they weren't sending operatives across that open border during those 4 years. It was too good an opportunity. They're here in our cities, L.A., Michigan, up in Michigan, around the Detroit area, New York City, down here in North Carolina, where we took out an entire Hezbollah cell back in the mid-2000s when I was the head of the office here. I mean, they are here, and they are a clear and present danger. I hate to use cliches, but they are. Yeah,
and Chris, this is as DHS is not fully funded because of the Democrat block on the funding bill. I mean, so this demonstrates how dangerous that is.
Right, and we have the fifth column of sympathizers, not just card-carrying Hezbollah member cells, but all the sympathizers that were outed after October 7th on our college campuses and across the country. So they're out there, and they are literally supporting two terrorist organizations, Hezbollah and Hamas.
I think the majority of these people are. It's maddening sometimes. It is maddening. Imagine this. Imagine that you're in a relationship, or you not even a relationship. Let's say you kicking it with your family, right? You got a large family, and your large family starts letting other people inside of the house. And you like, hold on. This is our house. We shouldn't be letting unauthorized people inside of here. We can't just let anybody inside of here. And they say, no, Anton, that's not right. That's not fair. We have to spend our money and the money that we bring home on making sure that they feel comfortable too. Because we shouldn't have our doors closed. doors symbolizing borders, right? Because this is literally what we watching in real time. And then that same person comes in, eat your food out your refrigerator, slap your son, punch your daughter, and then set the house on fire. And the whole time that they doing it, your family member is like, but no. But not all of them is bad people. Not everybody that came in here is a bad person. And you so indoctrinated, like you're so caught up. You so dedicated to hating Trump that you literally are putting your own well-being in jeopardy. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Oh, we gonna get there today. Let me read some of these cash apps and super chats. Let me change the mood. We're not gonna go cold red. We're just gonna go orange right now. We're gonna change the mood. Shout out to my dog, Mike That Dude. I appreciate you, Mike That Dude, for holding me down. Hold on, let me get my shout out to Mike That Dude. John Till says, thank you for getting me through the workday. Gotcha, big dog. Angel, what up? You said the coffee with the coffee donation? Thank you, Angel. Thank you for holding me down. I want to also give a shout out to the super chatters. Vito Royale says Bible study is the best thing out of the Patreon, in my opinion. Everybody is getting a lot of things out of the Patreon. Make sure y'all get into the Discord. Link to the Discord is in the description of any of the most recent videos. And the Patreon, thank you, Vito Royale. Justin, what up, Justin? Justin says supporting a strong United States serves our national interests. Global geopolitics often requires projecting military force. Aggressive states actively exploit vulnerable nations, as demonstrated by the Russia-Ukraine war. Whiskey Pierre in the building says, Anton, shalom, this is not war. This is authorized use of military force, quick end. Don't be like the reporters. They want to call it that to cause issues. Congress is needed for wartime, not long end. Channel says Iran operation is America first. Chinese cornered oil supply under our control. Delays are stops. Taiwan war. Russia, Cuba next. 3D chess. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you to everybody that support the platform. Again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We got a lot that we want to get to today, but first, before we get to it, again, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the greatest group of people on the face of this earth, bar none. The greatest group of people on the face of this earth. I do not take you guys for granted. You are very much appreciated. And if I haven't told you recently, I'm telling you now. Thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And thank you for supporting the platform. Y'all ready to get into the next part of the show? All right. We got a lot to cover again, so I want to make sure that y'all geared up and y'all ready to kick it. Let's talk about it. The Trump administration actually gave us an update, a couple different updates, but I'm going to pick this one to go into, of what's happening and what his anticipation is, what the next moves are that he can say to the general public.
Over the past 36 hours, the United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury, one of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives the world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it. We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now it was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval building, all in a matter of literally minutes. Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead. This wretched and vile man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands and was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across many countries. Last night, all over Iran, the voices of the Iranian people could be heard cheering and celebrating in the streets when his death was announced. The entire military command is gone as well, and many of them want to surrender into saving their lives. They want immunity. They're calling by the thousands. Combat operations continue at this time in full force,
dog,
and
2K.
they will continue
I got a special
until
love for
all
you.
of our objectives are achieved. We have
2K, I got your plaque coming too. I just want to let you know. I'm gonna read the super chat after this segment. But I got your plaque coming too. It should be to you in about a month. But I'm gonna get your shipping information shortly. But I got something for you, big dog. I appreciate you. 2K be holding me down. It's one of the realest ones. It ain't too many people left that's like us. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. I got y'all.
very strong objectives. They could have done something 2 weeks ago, but they just couldn't get there. Earlier today, CENTCOM shared the news that 3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action. As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives. We pray for the full recovery of the wounded and send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but we'll do everything possible where that won't be the case. But America will avenge their deaths and deliver the most punishing blow to the terrorists who have waged war against basically civilization. They have waged war against civilization itself. Our resolve, and likewise that of Israel, has never been stronger. America is now, again, the richest, most powerful nation in the world by far. But the only reason we enjoy the quality of life that we do and the freedom and security is we have done things that others are unable to do. But it's because of warriors who are willing to lay down their lives to do battle with our enemies. And they do battle better than anybody. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be a dire threat to every American. We cannot allow a nation that raises terrorist armies to possess such weapons that would allow them to extort the world to their evil will. Not going to let it happen. We're not happening to us, and we're not going to let it happen to others. The United States has the strongest military the world has ever seen. I rebuilt our military in my first term. There's never been a military like we possess. And frankly, there's nobody even close, but we are now using that military for good. We want to have it for good purpose. We're undertaking this massive operation not merely to ensure security for our own time and place, but for our children and their children, just as our ancestors have done for us many, many years ago. This is the duty and the burden of a free people. These actions are right and they are necessary to ensure that Americans will never have to face a radical, bloodthirsty terrorist regime armed with nuclear weapons and lots of threats. For almost 50 years, these wicked extremists have been attacking the United States while chanting the slogan, "Death to America," or "Death to Israel," or both. They are the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. We are the world's greatest and most powerful nation, so we can do something about what they do. These intolerable threats will not continue any longer. I once again urge the Revolutionary Guard, the Iranian military, police, to lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death. It will be certain death. Won't be pretty. I call upon all Iranian patriots who yearn for freedom to seize this moment, to be brave, be bold, be heroic, and take back your country. America is with you. I made a promise to you, and I fulfilled that promise. The rest will be up to you, but we'll be there to help. Thank you. God bless you to our incredible warriors, and God bless the United States of America.
We haven't had backbone in this country in a long time. We've been so busy trying to feminize our people, trying to make sure that we promote and bring femininity into the workplace. We've been recruiting for too long and saying that no, don't ask, don't tell inside of our military. We've been lowering the bar for our females to continue to be inside of the military. And that's not to say that females shouldn't be in the military. Shit. They tried to get on me a couple years ago for just labeling them females. They said, we're not females. I said, well, what are you? True story. Ask Slimmy. He'll tell you it's the truth. He'll tell you it's the truth. We finally got some balls back, and we finally stopped letting the world take advantage of us, whether it's financially. You know, I seen somebody in the chat talk about, wait a minute, why are we doing this again? For multiple different reasons. First of all, we playing chess out here, not checkers, right? You got Iran that's basically helping Russia and China, not only with oil, but also stealing oil from Venezuela while collapsing that country and plunging their people into turmoil. I can tie it into Greenland, but we're going to deep dive into that a little bit later of why it is that it was necessary for us to take control of Greenland, especially considering their shipping canals and Taiwan, right? Not only the straits over in Iran and the Middle East, but also, you know, the shipping canals over in Taiwan and the semiconductor chips, right? This forever war that's happening with Ukraine and Russia, largely helped by Iran, that is helping Russia. And we thought that Russia was so powerful when it came to their military, but they needed Iran in order to continue to manufacture drones to keep this war going. And millions of people are dying, right? Not only that, but they also are still trying to develop a nuclear weapon. They continue to chant death to Americans. They continue to be the foremost terrorists of the world, killing their own people. And there's so many other things that we can name that deep dive into why we need to go ahead and stop this in its tracks in order to prevent something bigger from happening in the future. And because we are the most powerful nation, and because we now got somebody at the helm that'll proactively take care of business, Iranians everywhere, in every single place of the earth, is finally saying, and they putting up Trump's name and they celebrating them. But we got middle-aged liberals here and black folk, a lot of which, not all of them, black folk that can't even read past the third grade, gonna sit there and tell you about international policy. You don't know the child support laws, but you certainly know about international policy between the United States of America and Iran, right? You don't know how to log in to pay your student loans, but you know international policy. I got you. Facts, right? You don't know nothing about the facts regarding the transatlantic slave trade, and you take all of your talking points from other people that's on the internet that don't know nothing, but you know everything about Iranian culture. Facts. I'm just saying. It's a reason why a lot of these terrorist countries were adamant, vigilant against Trump ever getting elected. Listen, Biden and Kamala Harris had more support from outside of the United States of America, from the countries that hated us, than anybody, because the party is over. Party is over. No more free oil. No more stealing. No more taking advantage of Venezuela. No more developing of nuclear weapons while we continue to give them billions of dollars to do it. No more letting people inside of the country free of charge and giving them CDLs so that they can send money back to their people. No more fraud over in Minneapolis. J.D. Vance is taking care of that. Rubio is taking care of the terrorists. No more none of that. Party is over. Party is over. Party is over. That's it. That's up. Let me read some of these super chats. And then we gonna I gotta show some love to a couple people. Jason Statham says, so AD, Mr. iPhone, you seen that new Honor phone that has a built-in gimbal with AI? Every phone got AI. All of them got AI. I'm sure y'all will get something like that in a decade or so. Listen, let me tell you something, Jason. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm looking forward to flip phones, bro. That's it. I don't need a built-in gimbal, right? I got 30 different cameras and all of that. I don't need none of that, right? I'm loyal to nobody. I'm loyal to the best product and the best OS, the best operating system, okay? Unless you got stock in Alphabet, then I don't think you should be celebrating either. But the point that I'm trying to make is I don't even care about technology like that. If it ain't about leveraging it for business, I don't care about it. When it comes to how I move, people will tell you, I don't text a lot. I don't talk a lot. I'm real quick on the phone, then we get off the phone. If you want to kick it with me, you're going to have to come and see me in person. People will tell you, I don't kick it like that. I'm not connected like that. I don't check Instagram often. And a lot of times when I do, I'll check it on a desktop. That way I don't have to actually install it on my phone like that. I don't be on Facebook. If it ain't YouTube, I'm not on it. I genuinely don't care. I am not interested in doing anything outside of what I have to do on these devices right here. I can't wait to get me a flip phone. So, I mean, if you want all of the technology, God bless you, big dog. I wish I could turn my phones off when I'm at the crib so that I could just sit back, relax, and watch a little bit of TV. And I don't even want to watch all of the TV. I don't need Paramount. The only reason I got a lot of these apps is because I got to do it because we watch some of these movies on Sundays. Honestly, I don't even want to watch sports on TV. I want to go to the game. Even if I was sitting in the nosebleeds, I like to have the real experience. I don't watch baseball on TV. I go to the baseball games. I don't watch football on TV. I actually prefer to go to the games. I actually go to soccer games. I spread myself out all throughout the year in order to continue to go to these things. Speaking of which, let me say this too. Woo! I had put this in the, I was telling the people in the group chat on After Hours. So the Pistons is back in the playoffs. Pistons back in the playoffs. This is what they charging me for playoff tickets. Now, this is separate from the season. A lot of people may not be familiar with this because I show y'all how much I pay. I pay a little over $100,000 a year for my tickets, for my courtside seats in the season. But the playoff seats, and I'm going to get to 2K Super Chat in a second, the playoff seats is different. So the Pistons haven't really been anticipating a long playoff run, but they gave us a heads up of what they're going to be charging us. So this is what they're charging us for the playoffs, all right? It's crazy. The total price, if we go all the way to the finals, regardless of whether we win it or not, the total price is at the bottom. $136,000 for my seats in particular, because I'm on the floor. The total price is $136,000. Round one pricing is $13,640. Round 2 pricing is $20,480. Round 3 pricing is $34,000 Eastern Conference Finals, which I anticipate is at least going to the Eastern Conference Finals. And then round 4, which is the NBA Finals, if we make it to the NBA Finals, will be $68,000 for a total of $136,000 to be charged on my birthday on April 13th. Oh, my God. Oh, man. Oh, my God, bro. I couldn't believe it. And then my shopper from Louis Vuitton is sending me new stuff. For the new collection. She's sending me the new collection. Texting me the new collection. I like that jacket. We gonna see that. So I'll text her in a minute. I'll text her back. But yeah, man, it's crazy, bro. It's absolutely crazy of what's happening. You only get one shot, bro. You only get one life. So if you're scared, go to church. I'm going to have to keep me something pretty. Listen, if I'm paying $136,000 to be sitting at the game, I'm going to have to keep a fleet. Rotations. I'm going to have to pull out the fleet. No fellas. Don't worry. I'm take my girl, take my chick, and take Leslie also to a couple games. But then I gotta pull out the team. No men in the playoffs. It's the big leagues. All right. No men during playoff season. This is the big leagues. All right. We it's the big leagues. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Let me read a couple more of these super chats. Somebody said, don't say, man, I don't care nothing about these broke hoes on the internet trying to get $5. I don't care about these broke hoes. Oh, man, don't say that, Jesuit. I made these hoes. Half of these people that you see proliferating on the internet, I'm not even going to say half. I'm going to say 80 to 85% of them, y'all would not even know them. They would not even exist in this space if I hadn't brought them to y'all. I'm just not sure which one of them is going to turn against me, depending on what is popular at the time, because Anton fever is at a high pitch. These people been on my nuts for 7 weeks. 7 weeks they've been hanging on my nuts. 7 weeks. What you talking about, bro? Shout out to the realest man out here in these streets, 2K. 2K said, my dog's blessings, Brody. Shout out to the chaser and to you for having me on the payroll. I got to give you my new routing number to the bank because I ain't got the check. Shout out to 2K. And shout out to the DPMO morning show. Make sure y'all tap in with 2K after the Millionaire Morning Show. And so you can see what they got going on. It's my dog. He been the realest one. But again, you can't pay for real. You know what I'm saying? For real. Because see, the thing is, you ain't even got to be somebody's homeboy, even though that's my homie. You ain't even got to be somebody's homeboy to be real. Real is real all the way across the board. Shout out to 2K, man. That's my dog, bro. He the realest, one of the realest ones out here. I also want to say shout out to the Mushroom Kings. If you know, you know. Will Collins. What's happening out here in these streets? The Kings is in the building. They don't know what that is. They wouldn't even understand it if they could. The big leagues, AD, you troll with the best of them. Oh, man. Shout out to the big leagues. I think Kim definitely coming to Detroit. Let me see something. I don't know if she's available. She might be on a flight on her way here already. She might be on a plane. I don't know. Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. We'll get her back on there. Don't worry about it. I see Kim. Like that chocolate. Chocolate is different. Anyways, y'all ready to continue on with the show? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? All right, y'all. We got to get to the next part of the show. We can't keep delaying. I know I like to talk junk and troll with the best of them, but we got a show to do, and we got to get to into the thick of things. All right. So up next, what we got coming up next? Let's see what we talking about next. Trump gave an update. Netanyahu. So Benjamin Netanyahu, actually did an interview with Fox News. I think he was on with Sean Hannity, if I'm not mistaken. And I want to get to that. All right, so make sure, again, you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. This is Netanyahu finally breaking his silence, specifically speaking about everything that has been going on with Israel, Trump, Iran, and all the rest of the stuff.
Joining us now is the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. Mr. Prime Minister, thank you for being here. I know you probably have gotten very little sleep in the last number of days. Why now? What precipitated this moment at this time? I know you have talked about it. We've known each other 30, 35, maybe more years. And why at this point was this necessary?
Well, the first thing to understand is why it's necessary at any time. Iran, for 47 years, has been chanting death to America, death to Israel too. But you're the big Satan, we're the small Satan. Death to America. They've murdered and maimed thousands of Americans in Iraq and Afghanistan with their IEDs. These are roadside bombs. They bombed your embassies. They tried to assassinate Donald Trump, the president of the United States, twice. They've murdered their own people. They massacred so many. And they spread a worldwide web of terror. So this is a regime committed to destroying the United States of America. It's the only country on the planet that says so openly and works tirelessly to achieve that goal. The reason that we had to act now is because they were, after we hit their nuclear sites and their ballistic missiles program, you'd think they learned a lesson. But they didn't, because they're unreformable. They're totally fanatic about this, about the goal of destroying America. So they started building new sites, new places, underground bunkers that would make their ballistic missile program and their atomic bomb programs immune within months. If no action was taken now, no action could be taken in the future. And then they could target America, they could blackmail America, they could threaten us and threaten everyone in between. So action had to be taken, and you needed a resolute president like Donald J. Trump to take that action. And we are his very strong and able partners, and our alliance today is so strong. We had to take the action now, and we did.
I wonder how volatile After Hours is going to be tonight. I wonder if we'll all agree or disagree, and what that's going to amount to. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know what that looks like. Make sure y'all tune in to After Hours. It's going to be a phenomenal show. It's going to be a phenomenal show.
The Iranian mass murder regime would have immunity from future action.
Steve Witkoff made this statement, the Middle Eastern envoy, and he made it last week, that they absolutely are clinging to their ability to build out a nuclear weapons program. And the president, as he said, he wanted a peace deal, gave them every opportunity for peace, like they did before Operation Midnight Hammer. And they steadfastly refused. In the first 30 seconds, I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Hey, Kimmy, call me when you get a chance, babe. I got a question for you. Or call me after this segment. I got a question for you.
The supreme leader, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and his top 40 leaders were wiped out, Ahmadinejad among them. That is incredible intelligence, and wow, I'm sure this will be studied for centuries to come, not decades.
Well, you know, when America, the indispensable ally for Israel and the greatest power in the world, and Israel, America's model ally, as the National Security Council just called it. When we work together, amazing things happen. We worked together and amazing things happened. But I have to tell you that it wouldn't happen without the leadership of President Trump. Because he just, you know, I met him in Mar-a-Lago. You may remember this because I think you live close by and I saw you at that time, right before his re-election, okay? Or before he was inaugurated the second time. And we met in Mar-a-Lago. And the first thing that Donald Trump said to me, he said, you know, we have to prevent Iran from getting nukes. As simple as that. He said that because he saw that as a clear and present danger to the security and well-being of the United States. To have a regime like that, so fanatic, that it just defines itself by destroying America, exporting revolution, exporting terrorism, exporting the worst Islamist fanaticism that attacks Arabs, attacks Israelis, attacks Americans, attacks everyone in sight. They just fired now their ballistic in sight around in the Middle East, including Cyprus and Europe. To have a regime like that, that plans to eradicate the United States, have the weapons of mass death, would have been the greatest threat that America would face in the coming decades.
Why don't y'all like Netanyahu? I'm trying to understand. What is it that y'all don't like about him? What is it that y'all don't like about Netanyahu? What is it that y'all don't like about Israel? And listen, don't just spew to me propaganda. Don't go off of what somebody else says. Give me your own authentic thoughts of what you don't like about Netanyahu. I'm curious. I just want to know. What specifically don't you care about him? You know what's so interesting? Nobody is actually saying anything meaningful. They just saying, he a snake. He this. I don't like him. He's a liar. He lies about things. What specifically do you not like about him? I'm trying to understand exactly what is it that he did. Because you know what's so funny? You know what's so funny? I'm going to say this, right? This is what's interesting to me. Because nobody is saying anything meaningful. He protects PDFs. He wants Jewish supremacy. Y'all not actually giving me anything. So y'all just speaking out of emotion. You're not speaking off of anything meaningful. I need somebody to give me something specific, a factual thing that he did that you don't like. I don't trust big ears. What? He's a reptilian. What are y'all saying? Come on, man. Come on. I'm listening. I'm reading through every single thing in the chat. And the only thing I see, similar to what ABJ Wise and Strong sees, is all emotion and no fact. You know what's so interesting about this, though? You know what's so interesting about this whole situation? Is that when we mention the supreme leader, when we mention Putin, when we mention Kim Jong-un, when we mention Xi Jinping, when we mention all of these people, y'all are whisper quiet. So much so to where I actually see people protesting in favor prior to and after when the supreme leader of Iran was killed. People were actually advocating for them. People were actually in favor of Iran. So what I'm trying to understand is, what is it? And are you having two different litmus, right? Are you having two different perspectives? Because for me personally, I'm indifferent about them. Because somebody said, Anton, what do you like about him? I'm indifferent about Netanyahu. The only thing I care about is what's in the best interest of America. Now, if other people benefit in the process of us doing what's in the best interest of America because they partner with us or whatever, then, hey, it is what it is. So I don't have any opinion per se of Netanyahu. I don't really care either way. I don't care. Like, I'm not emotional about it in any way. And I think that actually benefits me because I look at things through the lens of what's best for America. Right? I don't go based off of whether I like somebody or whether I don't like somebody. I look at it from the lens of, does this benefit us or does this not benefit us? And so I don't have a perspective about my emotions towards somebody, but I see y'all are vigilant. Y'all hate Netanyahu. Y'all hate him, but y'all don't have nothing to say about Putin. I actually seen people supporting Putin when we was having this conversation about Ukraine and the ongoing war with Russia. I'm not playing anything. I'm telling you the truth. I don't get $1. I've not got one payment from anything or any PAC or any. I don't care about what somebody else is doing unless they are against or for and effectively partnering for what's best for America. That's the only thing I care about. So now I'm tripping. No. The question is, because see, I'm not the person that got my panties in a bunch whenever I hear somebody speak and I'm trying to objectively listen to what they say so that I can make my own assessment based off of the things that I already understand. And because y'all are unwilling, and see, this is the problem. This is the problem with us, and this is the problem with Americans. This is the problem with black people, black culture, all across the board. The problem with us is that we don't hear nothing because we let our emotions and our feelings get involved. It's the same thing I tell my girl when if she start acting up, I say, hey, chill out for a second. Hold on. Are you listening to respond or are you listening to understand? Do you hear me? Because you can't hear me if you're always trying to cut me off every time I'm trying to make a point. And so I have to calm her emotions down. And then she said, oh, I didn't hear you say that part. Yeah. We not making an emotional decision here. We looking at this from a business perspective. This is not a time to be emotional. The time to be emotional is when we under the covers. and I can make you cry. And so our inability to be able to hear what he has to say. I'm trying to hear what Netanyahu has to say. I haven't even given my opinion about him. And y'all in the bunch, oh my God, let me rip my thong off. So can we at least hear what he has to say before we jump to conclusions and jump off the bridge? Good grief. Let's hear what BB has to say. Or would y'all prefer not to hear it from somebody that has a different perspective than you? We only want to live in an echo chamber? We don't want to get everything? I want to listen to everything. I want to hear what the Iranian people got to say. I want to hear what Netanyahu got to say. I want to hear what Trump got to say. I want to hear what the liberals got to say. I want to hear what everybody got to say.
He said to me right off the bat, I didn't say to him, he said to me, we have to make sure they never get the nukes. And that's what he did. We tried first to take them out in Midnight Hammer and Rising Lion operation, and we took out their missile sites, but then they started again, their missile and nuclear sites.
Deborah Mason says, we don't have the munitions to fight this war. Trump was warned not to do this. How do you know? Are you Pete Hegseth? Are you you work in the Pentagon? What part of the government clearance do you have? How do you know what our munitions look? Do you know what our stockpiles look like? Trump has been doing his thing and has been right about everything thus far. I'm going to believe in the president of the United States of America before I believe in Deborah May. I didn't even know that we had a site that lists exactly what our stockpile looks like. I wasn't sure. How do you know this? How do you know this?
They didn't learn the lesson. He tried to get negotiations. He negotiated with them. They didn't get it. They tried to string him along. So action had to be taken, and we took it.
President Trump repeated over and over and over again, and I would argue that the leadership that is now dead was a death cult and an existential threat, not just to the region, not just to Israel, death to America, but I am very convinced and have been convinced, as you have been for decades, that if they ever got nuclear weapons, that they would.
Somebody said ADR is taking up for the rich and powerful. How did I take up for anybody? And why wouldn't I take up for myself? Have you seen how I've been controlling the internet lately? I might take a trip to the White House soon, or maybe I head over to Mar-a-Lago. Listen. Let me stop
along with their fanaticism, it would cause them to use it. That is what that death cult would cause them to do. Is this now the culmination of decades of your work and your belief and your passion that these radicals needed to be defeated? And what is next for Iran? You know, we talk, well, the regime's changed, but we don't know into what yet. What are your thoughts?
Well, you're right. I did have spoken about it for decades. And I try to persuade successive American administrations to take firm action. And President Trump, in his first term, did. He got out of the disastrous Iran deal right off the bat. And he did everything he could to prevent them from going into the nuclear program that they seek to build atomic bombs to threaten us and you, and ultimately to attack both of us and to destroy as much as they can, because this is what these people do. They basically are in the business of mass death, and you're right to call them a death cult. I worked with several presidents. I always appreciated the fact that we had, well, forthright discussions. Often we agreed, but often we didn't. We disagreed. And I appreciated that we kept the alliance going. But I want to tell you something. I'm not a youngster, so I've been around. There's never been a president like Donald J. Trump. His resoluteness, his decisiveness, his clarity of thinking, the way he gets right to the crux of things. It cuts through all the fluff, cuts through the chase, gets down to the main point, and it gets down to the main action that needs to be taken. And I think for Israel, and I think for the countries of the free world, let me tell you, I think for the world, we're very lucky to have him as the leader of the free world, and in fact, the leader of the world. He's brought America back to being the leader of the world, and it makes a huge difference. And I can tell, I'm talking to America's allies in the region, just one by one by one. And I can't quote from these conversations, but I can tell you they all share this, and they all say, thank God that Donald Trump is here. Thank God that the two of you are acting together to remove this threat, not only to you, but to us. And Iran today just bombed with these ballistic missiles, these weapons of mass death, these weapons of terror. They're terror weapons. They bombed all these countries. They bombed Cyprus, which is Europe. I've said it won't take very long. They're bombing us, then they'll bomb Europe, and when they develop the intercontinental ballistic missiles and the nuclear wars to fit on these ballistic missiles, they'll threaten you, and eventually they'll bomb you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Netanyahu, and I know. Let me give myself a round of applause. Let me give myself a round of applause for being objective, because I'm not letting my emotions carry me in this conversation. I know y'all feeling some type of way. Woosah. Relax. We just reviewing the video. We wanted to hear what he had to say. And, I just want to listen to it from all sides. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Jeez! If I would have known that segment was going to be so controversial, I would have skipped it. I didn't know that y'all was going to be crashing out like that over Netanyahu having an interview on Fox News about what he's saying. Good God, Jesus. Take a drink. Take a break. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Good thing we don't censor the chat. You see how we let y'all get y'all stuff off? Hey, listen, moderators, let the chat do what the chat. See, the one thing about it, though, over here, is that we don't bully people. Over here, we let you get your shit off. Y'all say all kind of stuff in the chat. Sometimes it's somebody that just double back with all of the caps and they just keep dropping it in the chat. We got to censor you a little bit. Got to teach you a lesson. You can't keep doing that. But we let you get your stuff off over here because we love to chat. Right or wrong, we love to chat. Have you joined the Patreon yet? Let me make a pitch for you. This is not for Dusties. These are only for the people. Thank you, Shad. I appreciate you. This is only for the people that's looking to level up and run up a bag. Now, we know that there is, let's just call it an expedition, an operation happening over in Iran. And a lot of people are walking around scared. They're angry and they're upset. And they say, oh my God, what's going to happen with gas prices? Oh my God, oil is going to go up. Oh my God, I'm so worried about AI layoffs. Well, the bag chasers, we don't worry about that. You know why? Because the bag chaser moniker is nothing more than a name. The true meaning of it is chasing the things as greatest for us, understanding that the money come with it, the women come with it, the opportunities come with it, right? We have conversations and masterminds about some of the greatest things. I show you all of the receipts about how to run it up in content creation, how to leverage that money in order to continue to put it into your stock portfolio, what you should invest in, how we research it, what companies do we avoid, what companies do we love. We talk about real estate and how you can leverage real estate in order to continue to get it back and preserve your wealth. And I show you the receipts on that too. Interview like a king. Plenty of people that became millionaires. We meet up in person. Discord is popping. But listen, there is no better Patreon than the Bag Chasers. And the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I don't want to hear how broke you are. I don't have those type of conversations anymore. I only want to hear how much money you done made this year. All right. Link to the Bag Chasers is pinned to the top of the chat. But also, there's something else that I want to get off to y'all. And it's Teach Henley. It's 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, Link is in the description. Ladies, get it for the fellas. Fellas, do not wait for the ladies to get it for you. If you waiting on your girl to get you that Tej, that's a problem. See how silky smooth my skin is? This is no makeup. All of that chocolate, this is all moisturizer. See all of this skin? Doing a Dougie. This is all moisturizer. Nice and moisturized. No bumps, no bruises, no scratches. Just gorgeousness. Yeah, get your Tej Henley. That link is down in the description also. Y'all ready to get on to the next part of the show, or you want me to read Super Chats? I don't know. Since I got back in this room, my energy is on 10. I'm feeling good. Mama, what up, Mama? Says, hey, D, it's Carmaya. Check your DMs, please. All right, Carmaya, I'm going to check them. Send it to me right now. So I have it at the top of my DMs. And what's the baby bump looking like? Mr. Joe says, I don't hate Israel or Netanyahu. I genuinely want to know why our politicians are beholden to Israel. Got some visitors walking by. Want to get a firsthand. I should do this show live one day. I really should take this show on the road. That would be awesome. What do y'all think about that? I love you too, Molly. To do this show on the road would be sick. With a live audience, kicking it with the people. Then I can have whoever the dopest content creator that's in the city as my co-host for the day. I think that would slap. I think I need to do that. Honestly, I just think that we need to go city to city, state to state, and do it live and kick it with the people in real time. We do the Millionaire Morning Show in the daytime. We do a meetup at night. Where would I go first? Chicago. So I can talk about the Bears, the gay Bears. Daily Discourse Arturo. What up, Arturo? Says one thing that made Trump mad is that he shot missiles right after Trump. One thing that made Trump mad is that he shot missiles right after Trump made a peace deal between Israel and Iran. Trump said they don't know what the F they do. I remember that. He was pissed off at Israel. He was pissed off at Netanyahu. He was pissed. Mr. Too Fresh in the building says, AD, pull up 7 countries. In 5 years, Iran was the last on the list. Israel wants full control of the Middle East. Chill Lego says, bruh, I just don't want to pay Israel for no return. Brian Michael says he is literally the head of the state of a nation responsible for genocide and using our tax dollars to do so. Not rocket science. Have you not watched any of Myron's coverage on this? I don't know if you noticed, but I've been pretty much live streaming as much as Myron, probably more. And I've been doing videos and Patreon live streams and trolling with the rest of them. All right, listen, us content creators don't always have the capacity to cover everything that everybody else is talking about. And Myron is my homie, but I just so happen to have my own mind and my own opinion. Mark Hargrove says, because the devil hates Israel, Jesus was a Jew. Interesting. Josh McLean says, I think the big issue people have with Netanyahu's regime is that it seems we're funding and pushing their issues without them really being able to do it without our backing, at least on the surface. What is your problem? Not what everybody else. What is your problem? Not people. Hova says, watching this show on the MetaQuest 3 is God tier. I highly recommend it. What up? Oh, I got my MetaQuest in there. I just finished charging it back up. Mr. J says, hey, Anton, forget these haters, Team Trump. What up to my dog Daily Discourse again says, I don't hate or trust Netanyahu, but I trust Trump. Trump is and always will be the greatest president the United States of America will ever have. And that's what my sentiment is, Arturo. That's what my sentiment is, but I don't understand what everybody else's sentiment is. You saw Floyd got another fight lined up? I didn't. I don't see it. Steve, what up, Steve? Says, Bibi is wanted for war crime, literally. By who? By who? All right, y'all. You on the meta too? Dr. Manhattan, you on the meta also? Y'all checking me out in the meta? What up, though? What up, though? What up to all of my MetaQuest wearers and users in the building? I love y'all. Again, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. All right, y'all. We got to get over to the next thing. And the next thing, I want to get over to Marco Rubio. I think that Marco is going to possibly be the vice president of the United States of America in the next election. 2028, Marco Rubio, vice president. And then I think 8 years after that, he's going to become president of the United States of America. I do. He's going to become president eventually, but I think that happens after J.D. Vance takes president in 2028. But I do think that he's in line to be VP. Everybody loves Marco, except for the Iranian regime. This is what he had to say.
The States conducted this operation with a very clear goal in mind. I haven't got a chance to see a lot of reporting.
Thank you, Life with OG.
I don't understand what the confusion is. Let me explain it to you, and I'll do it once again as clearly as possible. Perhaps you'll report it that way. The United States is conducting an operation to eliminate the threat of Iran's short-range ballistic missiles and the threat posed by their Navy, particularly to naval assets. That is what it is focused on doing right now, and it's doing quite successfully. I'll leave it to the Pentagon and the Department of War to discuss the tactics behind that and the progress that's being made. That is the clear objective of this mission. The second question that's been asked is, why now? Well, there's two reasons why now. The first is it was abundantly clear that if Iran came under attack by anyone, the United States or Israel or anyone, they were going to respond and respond against the United States. The orders had been delegated down to the field commanders. It was automatic, and in fact, it bared to be true because, in fact, within an hour of the initial attack on the leadership compound, the missile forces in the south and in the north, for that matter, had already been activated to launch. In fact, those had already been pre-positioned. The third is the assessment that was made that if we stood and waited for that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties. And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act. Going back to the purpose of this is to destroy that missile capability. Why does Iran want that ballistic missile capability? What they are trying to do and have been trying to do for a very long time is build a conventional weapons capability as a shield where they can hide behind. Meaning, there would come a point where they have so many conventional missiles, so many drones, and it can inflict so much damage that no one can do anything about their nuclear program. That is what they were trying to do, is put themselves in a place of immunity where the damage they could inflict on the region would be so high that no one can do anything about their nuclear program or their nuclear ambitions. They are producing, by some estimates, over 100 of these missiles a month. Compare that to the 6 or 7 interceptors that can be built a month. They can build 100 of these a month, not to mention the thousands of one-way attack drones that they also have. They've been doing this for a very long time, and by the way, they've been doing it under sanction. You see the attacks they're conducting right now? They're attacking airports, they're attacking hotels, they're hitting not just military bases, they're attacking our embassies directly, they're attacking facilities that have nothing to do with war or with military, and that's a weakened Iran. That's in Iran despite years of sanction. Imagine a year from now or a year and a half from now the capabilities they would have to inflict damage on us. It's an unacceptable risk, especially in the hands of a regime that's run by radical clerics. The Ayatollah was a radical cleric. That entire regime is led.
You know what's so funny? I love Rubio. And I think that Marco Rubio just proved the point. Y'all don't see it? Somebody in the chat, my co-hosts. What do y'all see right now in this video? What do y'all see in this video? Somebody says he exposed that Israel was going to attack no matter what. They had no choice. I love him too. So bright. He's articulate. Presidential-like. Campaign. Proactive, not reactive. Promotion. I see leadership. So a lot of y'all saying a lot of different things. Halle angled the title. He is great. Is presidential. I see the next president. He's sharper than Trump. Transparency. Very articulate under pressure. You want to know what I see? You want to know what I see, Nichelle? You want to know what I see, Lady Love? I don't see anything that Marco Rubio is saying that is any different than the video that I just showed of Netanyahu talking about why the United States of America and Israel are hitting Iran. Now, you may like one and you may not like the other, and that's why you're having completely different reactions. And this is crazy because every single thing that Netanyahu said is the same thing that Rubio is saying, except for he's just saying it more aggressively. He's saying it more matter of fact. He's speaking to reporters and he's having a conversation. Rubio is saying the exact same thing that Netanyahu said. They're saying the exact same thing that Trump just said in the video before it. And the people are responding differently depending on who they like. All of y'all, most of y'all, obviously I'm not saying all because that doesn't mean all. Most of the people, oh, now you switching up on him. Most of the people were saying, oh my God, he's lying when they was talking about Netanyahu. They're not saying the same thing about Marco Rubio because they like Marco Rubio. See? Completely different people and lived actions under Rubio and Bibi. Doesn't mean that what they're saying is not the same thing. Doesn't mean what they're saying is not the same thing. Because Marco was not a reptilian. Y'all got to get out of y'all emotions. And you have to separate issues. If you're going to be successful in life, if you're going to be successful in business, if you're going to be successful in corporate America, if you're going to be successful at anything as a content creator, you have to learn how to separate how you feel about one issue and one person from what is happening with a completely separate issue, and you judge them independently when it comes to trying to assess a situation. I never really cared for Umar Johnson. I'm using this as an example to illustrate a point, and then I'm going to get back to Marco Rubio. I never cared for Umar Johnson, right? Because I always believed that he was a pander bear for women and that he was capping when it came to his ability to open up a school. But when Umar Johnson speaks upon homosexuality or how people are leveraging children, especially liberals, in order to push an agenda, and that our boys are being feminized, and then he uses certain examples of certain celebrities in order to illustrate a point, I can't say that he's wrong. My assessment of him pandering to women has nothing to do with whether or not he's telling the truth or I agree with him when it comes to the assessment of how they're continuing to feminize our boys and they're trying to liberalize them to make them be more feminine than ever. And so my point is that I am able to remove my bias against how I feel about him in order to react to a separate type of video that he may be speaking on a separate, different issue. And whether I like him or not is irrelevant. Is he telling the truth or is he telling a lie? Do I believe him or do I not believe him? Is he actually hitting on something or is he not hitting on something? I don't let how I feel about a person determine whether or not they're telling the truth or not. I don't know how many times I have to hit y'all in the head with this. And I didn't know that Marco Rubio was going to say what he said. I didn't know what Netanyahu was going to say because I didn't review the videos before I'm reviewing them live with you right now. But my point is that I have to be objective if I want to be a man. That's all I'm saying.
Radical clerics who don't make geopolitical decisions. They make decisions on the basis of theology, their view of theology, which is an apocalyptic one. That has to be taken very seriously as well. So that was the purpose for what this operation is all about. That's what it's focused on. As the President said earlier today, it is on or ahead of schedule. I will defer to the Department of War to discuss the progress being made at a tactical level, but it was the right decision and an important decision for the safety and security of the world.
Did you tell lawmakers that there was an imminent threat?
There absolutely was an imminent threat, and the imminent threat was that we knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that they would immediately come after us. And we were not going to sit there and absorb a blow before we responded, because the Department of War assessed that if we did that, if we waited for them to hit us first after they were attacked, and by someone else, Israel attacked them, they hit us first, and we waited for them to hit us, we would suffer more casualties and more deaths. We went proactively in a defensive way to prevent them from inflicting higher damage. Had we not done so, there would have been hearings on Capitol Hill about how we knew that this was going to happen and we didn't act preemptively to prevent more casualties and more loss of life.
The U.S. was forced to strike because of an impending Israeli action?
No, first of all, let me two things I would say. Number one is, no matter what, ultimately this operation needed to happen. That's the question of why now. But this operation needed to happen because Iran in about a year or a year and a half would cross the line of immunity, meaning they would have so many short-range missiles, so many drones, that no one could do anything about it because they could hold the whole world hostage. Look at the damage they're doing now. And this is a weakened Iran. Imagine a year from now. So that had to happen. Obviously, we were aware of Israeli intentions and understood what that would mean for us, and we had to be prepared to act as a result of it. But this had to happen no matter what.
Slimmy is wrong. I'm going to tell him, y'all, if y'all, make sure y'all tune in to After Hours tonight. I'm going to tell Slimmy that he's wrong. I might be a little tipsy because, you know, After Hours, I don't know. I'll be in a little laughing mood, so I'll be a little tipsy sometimes. Neither here nor there. That's why when Slimmy, we'll get there in a second. Don't worry.
Mr. Secretary, President Trump said overnight that his top choices to now run Iran were killed in the strikes. Does the United States have a firm plan for how they intend to handle this power vacuum in Iran to ensure that an Iron warliner does not take power?
So two things, and two things can be true. Number one is our mission and our focus is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities and their ability to manufacture them, as well as the threat posed by their Navy to global shipping. That's our objective. That said, we would not mind, we would not be heartbroken, and we hope that the Iranian people can overthrow this government and establish a new future for that country. We would love for that to be possible. But the objective of this mission is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities and of their naval capabilities.
Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. I want to read a couple of super chats, but before I read a couple of super chats, I was going to say something in particular. I forgot what I was going to say. I don't know. It'll come back to me. Slimmy put up a video the other day of this stupid dolphin. And it's no reason. It was no rhyme or reason why we felt like that was so funny. And it's so funny because, and y'all, this is why y'all got to tune in to After Hours, because it'd be wild. The girls was looking at us like, what is wrong with these dudes? Why are they laughing so hard? And I don't know. It's almost like, it's like this thing we got. You know what I'm saying? It's this telekinesis that we got. And Slimmy put up this stupid video with his dolphin. Dog, last night I thought about that junk and I just laughed. I laughed. So you gotta be sometimes you gotta be a little bit tipsy. You gotta be a little bit tipsy to understand what's going on out here. But that junk was so funny. That junk was so hilarious, bro. After Hours be lit, man. After Hours be lit. Make sure. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. It was no reason why that video is so funny. There was no reason for that. Oh, man. Oh, man. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to go on to the next part of the show. I want to get into the drones, all right? I want to talk about drones, drone capability. Somebody said the United States of America don't have all of the weapons that they need in order to do this. Well, we're going to get into drones. TS Car Wash and Detail Services, AZ or Fab? Fab. AZ don't even have the catalog to compete with Fab. Thoughts on Slobby Chop owner situation in the D? I think it's unfortunate. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. Detroit is a relatively small city at the top, meaning that if you got motion, you are very visible. What people don't understand about the culture of Detroit is that Detroit is unlike any other city in the United States of America. Let me ask y'all a question first of all. Is my audio low? Can y'all not hear me or something? Because I heard somebody in the chat say that my audio was low. Is my audio too low? I thought that my audio was perfect, but I could turn it up slightly if I need to. Is my audio low? Or can y'all hear me good? Or do they just need to be able to turn up the volume on their phone or their device? All good, all good, all good. Crispy clear. I'm good. No, I'm good. Hear me just fine. Testing, 1, 2. All right, so there we go. All right, so check this out though. The thing about Detroit is that it's unlike any other city in the world. There is nowhere like Detroit, bro. I visited it's not every single city, but I visited so many different places in the United States of America and everywhere, right? And the thing about Detroit is that if you are one of the people in the city that got motion, like you got money or you got some clout or you got some level of both, if you making moves in a city, if you're a real estate developer, you the man, or you in a club or whatever, or even if you a local rapper and you popping. Everybody feel like they're a celebrity in the city. So when you start to get real motion, the city show you love. They love you. They love you. So when somebody that is significant in the city, one of the top dogs, right? And I consider anybody that's doing something positive or building, or if you own a couple different spots, or, you know, all of that type of stuff, when you got a little bit of motion and you from the city and you live, work, and play in the city, you a big deal. You are a big deal. And it's a few of us in here. That's a big deal. It's a handful of us. It's a handful of us that's a big deal. So when something like this happens, right, whether you in a jewelry, right, We seen what happened with my man over there, Hasty. The city gonna mourn for you. Like, it's like, damn, bro. Not this happened. Dang, man, not that happened. So, it's a big deal, bro. It's a really, really, really big deal. And we all see each other in the same places all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what's happening. And when you see each other, you meet each other, it's like, oh, what up, bro? What's going on? I put something on Instagram on my story, and I was like, I'm developing a new show. I said, I'm developing a new show in the city, in person, in the studio. And who should I have on there? Right? A new reoccurring show that I want to do for Room 9. And all of my dogs was hitting me up. A lot of the most relevant people in the city. Some of the biggest rappers, some of the most controversial people. A lot of my people was hitting me up like, I'm coming, dog. I'm down, bro. Let's get it. And I was thinking to myself, because of course all of the ladies gonna hit you up, right? But I was thinking to myself, it's just gonna be a bunch of people that I'm gonna have to go through and vet through. I knew all of these niggas. I knew every last one of them that hit me up. All of my dogs hit me up. Some of the most relevant people, whatever. So on and so. Hey man, I'm coming through, nigga. What you got going on? And I'm like, okay, all right. So it's like anywhere, right? And I'm imagining that it's the same in any city. The further up you get, everybody either know everybody or you 1 or 2 people away from knowing somebody. Or when you run into them finally. I jumped on a plane from, was it Miami? Had to be Miami. I jumped on a plane, me, Rita, and Leslie jumped on a plane from Miami, or it was somewhere in Florida or something. I don't remember what it was. I don't even remember where I was at. I don't know if I was in Miami or was I in Vegas or something. It's me, Sada sitting next to me. Then you got Skilla right there next to Leslie. Like, you flying to Detroit, most of the time, if you fly in Detroit, you go on Delta, you jump in first class. I just jumped on the plane from when I flew from Los Angeles. When after the whole Corey Holcomb situation, I do my show. I jump on the plane. You sitting, me and Big Sean is right there. Oh man, what's up? What's going on? Dap up. You keeping it moving. And honestly, this is the honest to God truth. Everybody is in the same spaces. They all congregate in the same spaces. They all move in the same places. Everybody is interacting with everybody. You kicking it with everybody. All them numbers is in your phone, the whole situation. So that's just the honest to God truth. Like, it's a different type of city. Everybody is kind of moving in the same. Yeah, shout out to Scuba Steve. And I love his new joint, let me see, let me pull it up. What's the name of it? Library. The Purple Tape. Shout out to Sada with the Purple Tape. It's slapping. It's actually slapping. And shout out to Dame Dot too. Shout out to Dame Dot, man. Anyways, let's continue on with the show. Shout out to my man, rest in peace. Let me answer a couple more super chats before we get into the next, because I want to get into these drones. Thoughts on the six-year girl situation in the D? I don't know nothing about that one. Alno, shout out to Alno, says somebody got their $777,000. I don't know what that means. 392Q says, good morning, the Millionaire Morning Show. Did we talk about the Smoothie King denying customers because of MAGA clothing? I seen something about that on TikTok. Somebody sent me a TikTok about that. Can you send me that? Because I heard it was a lady that was denying service because he said that they was Trump supporters or they was MAGA. You saw Joe Budden's new show, the JBP Rewind? I sent it to you. I haven't looked at it yet. Anyways, make sure you guys hit a like for the algo. Somebody says Detroit and Chicago related. I'm in the middle of the zoo. I don't know about that. I think that we're more closely related. I think we're more closely related to Oakland than we are to Chicago. We do more business. We make more money in Indiana. We got more cousins over in Ohio. And then we got our homies. Our brother from another mother is in Oakland. Chicago, I'm not so sure, bro. I think that we're more closely tied to Oakland than we ever have been to Chicago. We get money in Indiana. We get money in Kentucky. And our cousins is down there in Ohio. And then our brother from another mother is in Oakland. That's kind of the thing, you know? And now we starting to really get into discover what's happening in Pittsburgh. And Milwaukee. Shout out to Milwaukee. It's a lot of money up there in Wisconsin. All right, y'all. Again, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. I want to get into this whole drone conversation because a lot is being made of drones, drone capability, what's being used, Iran using drones, their development of drones. But the United States of America has been embracing drones because this is the first time that they've been able to use it. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. And let's get to it.
And for the first time in combat, the U.S. military is deploying one-way kamikaze drones that are copycats of Iran's drones. The Lucas drone, that's the American one, which stands for Low-Cost Unmanned Combat Attack System, was reverse engineered after the Iranian drone called Shahed-136. An Arizona company developed the drones with a range of about 500 miles and a maximum payload of 40 pounds.
So the Lucas is a low-cost platform that provides cutting-edge capability at only a fraction of the cost of traditional U.S. platforms that deliver the same effects.
So joining us now is J.D. Simpkins, the editor-in-chief of Military Times and Defense News. J.D., great to be with you. How do these drones operate, and why is the U.S. using them now?
Well, these drones, first of all, thank you for having me, Liz. These drones are a pretty fascinating development within the last really 7 months. This is a rapid fielding of a system that, traditional military fielding systems and things like that could take years. And by the time that these systems are even in the hands of warfighters, the conflict has evolved. The nature of combat itself no longer warrants whatever development was in the process. So in doing this, they've taken a system that has really been a headache for U.S. forces in the Red Sea in recent years, Israelis, others, Ukrainians on the front line that are being hit by Iranian-designed Shahed drones. And they have made a copycat version, or really two versions, that has taken a Shahed drone, reverse engineered it, as you said, has a maximum payload of 40 pounds. Or that's about twice the explosive yield as a Hellfire missile. But the biggest draw, as we've said, is it's the price tag. You look at the munitions that are being expended right now in the Middle East or in Ukraine and all over the world by U.S. forces. It's multi-million-dollar missile systems and things like that that are now, these Lucas drones cost $35,000 a pop. So
y'all better leave me alone, bro. Y'all better leave me alone. Bro, listen. I can afford a drone. Listen, don't let me get a Lucas, nigga. It's over for some of you niggas that's over here on the internet. 35,000. See, the United States of America is used to dealing with, oh man, you got to spend millions of dollars. You got to continue to align with all of the weapons manufacturers. You got to get with all of these different companies, all of this other stuff. Nah, nigga, I'm heading right to Arizona. I'm about to go get me a Lucas, nigga, and it's over for you niggas. 500 miles, they not even going to know where hit them. Type in my destination, it's over for you niggas. Yo, what happened to him? I don't know. I think that nigga Anton dropped a drone on him, dog. No, the YNs, they said they had switches. Anton came through with that drone technology, nigga. Shut the block down, nigga. He shut the whole block down. Nigga, he had two of them, $35,000 a piece, nigga. And he paid a premium because you got to throw the 5,000 on top of that, so they don't got no kind of he wanted to pay cash, so they charged him an extra $5,000. Nigga, he sent $80,000. Put the whole block to sleep. Put the whole block to sleep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Took out his house and his mama's house. And took his mama out too. You know what I'm saying? Put a drone on that nigga. Hey, only 35,000. I'm coming. Listen, bro. Let me get my hands on a Lucas, nigga. It's over. It's over for all of y'all. Ain't no more ops. We putting Lucas on these dudes. We not paying no more youngins. We not paying no YNs. We not doing none of that no more because, you know, they can snitch. They get caught. Hey man, you know, it wasn't me. Who put me on to it. They can snitch. Lucas don't snitch though. No fingerprints, no nothing. Just putting drones on these niggas. Have them playing basketball in heaven. The heavenly ballers. That's what they doing nowadays. They selling the drones for $35,000. You know how much cheaper that is than have to develop missiles, putting missiles on niggas? U.S. said, all right, I got you. I see you one, and I'll raise you three. Mm-hmm. We got the money and we got the capability.
Pop. So
wow.
if you break it down to this, I mean, a simple cost of a Tomahawk missile, for example, something like that usually runs around $2 million per missile. Mm-hmm. And this, I mean, you could essentially have 57 of these Lucas drones for that same cost.
Iran drones, though, are cost efficient as well. I'm curious if you feel like these weapons are making war, frankly, more attainable for some of these countries. War is no longer cost prohibitive.
It's not, and we're seeing that.
And this is one of the reasons why they were so pissed off at Iran for helping Russia. And Russia didn't feel the need to stop this war with Ukraine because they said, all right, so you killed all of our people. And it's hard for us to continue to recruit people to go out there for a knife fight. Iran is over there helping us make drones. We made 20,000 of them this year. We putting drones on. We running drones in apartment buildings. Now war has become more affordable. The same way that AI has become more affordable, the same way that cars became more affordable, the same way that flying became more affordable, war is becoming more affordable.
Where we're seeing it in Ukraine on the front lines, where you know, even as recent as 4 years ago when Russia invaded, you know, these are no longer battle lines that are operated in the same way
ZMF,
that they were
I'm coming
even
with a drone,
2,
bro.
3,
I
4
promise
years
you.
ago. These are dominated by machines where I think 80% of Russian targets right now that are being destroyed by Ukraine are being done so by drones. Mm-hmm. Many of their systems
Look at that. Hold on, check it out.
Modified just off of off-the-shelf commercial drones, which
they had that joint on the back of an F-150, a Toyota Tundra. You see that?
Now that are being destroyed.
They got drones on the back of the pickup for $100,000. Pickup and drone, you over, bro. $100,000, no traces of me, no fingerprint. I'm hitting you from 500 miles away. I'm not even coming to your city. I'm just gonna fly it over. What is that? This nigga Anton ain't messing around with these boys no more. Anton is not messing around. 100,000 to get you wiped, boy. No mask off, no YNs, no snitching, no police, no nothing, nigga. Just the drone just dropped on your head. Give me 5 of them. Give me 5 of them. I ain't gonna say no names though. I'm just playing. I don't want no Lucas drone. I'm just messing around. I'm just trolling. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me right now.
By Ukraine are being done so by drones. Mm-hmm. Many of their systems have been modified just off of off-the-shelf commercial drones, which the U.S. has seen the success of this and has adapted it in turn in recent initiatives where they're pushing for innovation and smaller time companies versus, the traditional Lockheed Martins and Northrop Grummons. It's no longer just the big wigs in that game anymore. As the Lucas drone, for example, it's Spectre Works out of Arizona, and quite frankly, I don't think anybody had necessarily heard of them prior to this, but they're sure making a mark on the battlefield right now.
Yeah, it seems like drones, it's the drone war. And that is the future of warfare as we know it. I'm curious, are we going to get to a point where we don't send troops on the ground, that won't be necessary because of this technology?
I'm of the belief that there's always going to be a human in the loop at some point, but I mean, you are seeing it in Ukraine right now, where the front lines themselves are being manned less and less by troops and more by machines, and whether that's a ground autonomous machine or air or naval drones or any of the case, these are increasingly being fielded, and they're being fielded with speed and at scale because of their
That's not even, that ain't even that big, bro.
As this Lucas drone is showing as an example, this is a call that Pete Hegseth put out maybe 7 months ago. And from that memo of ordering companies and branches to field these faster to now February 28th, they were seeing their first action in combat. That's only 7 months, and that is a remarkably fast timeline to see a weapon go from development to the battlefield.
Yo, shout out to Pete Hegseth. They tried to make it seem like Pete ain't know what he was doing. Pete got drones on the flow right now. Drones on the flow right now. Right after that, 7 months later, they out there in them streets with the drones. They got the big stuff. But see, Marco Rubio had already warned you. Marco Rubio just said it. He said, listen, bro, what y'all been seeing so far ain't even nowhere near what we've been dealing with. You don't even know what you about to get yourself into. Y'all got the return fire early version of what we got going on. You don't even know what you about to get yourself into yet, bro. That's what Marco said. Marco said it. Somebody said, yo, we getting close to Skynet. We already got Skynet, bro. You ain't see the Anthropic part that I did yesterday that I dropped as far as them debating whether or not they wanted to let the federal government use certain technologies? We already got it. Have you ever played with AI and asked them anything or went back and forth? Man, that junk is so advanced. From the time that I started leveraging AI to the time to right now, it has improved immensely. And I mean immensely. From the time that I got AI, that I started messing around with it and I started getting my subscriptions and I've been playing with all 3 platforms to now, bro, it don't even miss no more. It don't even miss. That junk be so accurate. It be so clean. And I ain't even just talking about the ways that we just using it in business. Like, I enabled it to break down a transcript or something and give me a quick summary without me actually being in a room of a meeting that I took the other day. That junk put man, I'm telling you, bro, it is, that junk is crazy. It is insane the way that I've been leveraging AI. We so far ahead of the game as far as prompt engineering and all of that stuff and trying to figure out how we can leverage it. I got a whole, man, I ain't even gonna tell y'all what I got coming up next, bro. It's already here. We already replaced ourselves. We already killed ourselves. It's just a matter of time. Might as well just enjoy the ride. That's what I'm doing. I was already ready for Jesus to come back a long time ago. I said that on the other show. I said, man, Jesus, go ahead and take the wheel. I ain't tripping about it. I ain't tripping about it. Just take the wheel. Go ahead, Jesus. So we just enjoying the ride while we here at this point, just enjoying it, riding it out, having a good time. Seriously, we just enjoying the ride. At this point, it's just points on the floor. It's no point in fighting. It's no point in going back and forth. Everything is bad. Everything is already going to shit. We might as well just enjoy the ride. Get some box. I ain't stressing too much about it. I ain't trying to make no big deal about nothing. I'm just enjoying the ride, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling at this point. I don't even care. Shout out to Hamtramck. Yeah, shout out to Hamtramck. One of the 2 cities that's inside of Detroit. Keon Bell. What up, Keon Bell says, in a perfect world, a major news network will offer you $125 million 5-year contract with free reign and you're still able to keep the morning show. I see it, bro. Y'all have no clue what I got on the table. Y'all have no clue what we working on. Listen, I got some stuff that's on the table that's so effing big. I can't even say nothing, bro. I can't say nothing. All I will say is, I will say this. What can I say? I will say this. All of the stuff that people was doing, all of the reaction videos, the reason why I wasn't making a big deal about it is because it heavily got me in the algorithm, so much so to where I was reached out to, and the thing that we doing and the thing that's being put together because of the visibility that I created is insane. One of the best decisions that I probably ever made was going on Corey's show and executing on my scandal the way that I planned to, the way that it happened. And when I got all of the people to talk about it, they don't even realize that they got me. I can't wait. I can't say it. I got to wait. I can't share it until I can share it with the bag chasers. But on one of these next few content creator streams, hopefully, I'll be able to share some details with y'all and I'll give y'all the inside track of what's going on. But one of the biggest money-making moments that I've ever just had that I just finessed. I said too much already. Anyways, let me read some more of these super chats and see what's going on. Mama says, baby bump is doing well. I'm having contractions. Keep me in your prayer. Trying to make it to full term in a couple days. Sheesh. Anton about to drive with a pet drone in the back of his TRX. Sly White says, Time Dog with a Lucas on the back of the Cybertruck is wild. They should have never gave you ends money. Hardcore News says, Israel also just used their Iron Beam laser dome, first tested in 2014. They have been using it for the last 3 days to shoot down Iranian missiles. Israel has a Death Star. More weapons coming online. Shout out to Hardcore News. Shh. We just gonna stay doing what we've been doing. We got to keep the momentum going. We got to keep this motion going. We got to continue to get this money, and we got to stay focused. All right. All right. I got you. We gonna get there. I promise you. When I'm able to, the minute that I'm able to, you know I can't keep a secret. The minute that I'm able to is the minute that I'll start to get to it. All right, y'all ready to continue on with the show? All right. Let me give myself a round of applause. I want to talk about this very, 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 very sad news. I wanted to get to it yesterday, but I didn't have time and I didn't have the capacity to get to it yesterday. So we're talking about it now. I'm going to keep it to myself, Reprimander. We're going to talk about it now. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Best time to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. You really don't want to miss out on the Patreon, I'm telling you. But this is very sad about these young Florida boys, 12, 13, and recently turned 15. Raped a 12-year-old girl in Overtown. A lot of y'all know where Overtown is. Overtown is one step over from Wynwood, which is directly next to the design district, is next to Midtown, and then you jump over to Biscayne. You can go over to South Beach, over on Miami Beach, or you can go downtown towards Brickell. So Overtown is not even that far. I'm going to let the story tell itself, and then y'all tell me what y'all think about it. Again, make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Turning now to a disturbing safety alert. A 12-year-old girl allegedly raped by 3 teenagers who are all being charged as adults. Local 10's Magda Louisin is live in Miami with distressing details. Magda.
Janice, you know, this alleged crime happened in June, but it wasn't until this week a grand jury said these minors need to be charged as adults. This is why we are showing you their faces. Now, the details in this alleged crime are very disturbing. We want to warn you.
Molly, don't tell us your opinion on this. I'm going to get it tonight.
2 middle school age boys and a 15-year-old boy are facing serious charges as adults in connection to a rape case involving a 12-year-old girl.
So you're 12 years old? You're 13 years old?
Police say the co-defendants, Nelson Nunez, Josiah Jones, and Xavier Tyson, all played a part in the crime that took place in an Overtown community garden in June.
You were indicted by a grand jury and transferred to from juvenile court to adult court. That's why you are here.
Police reports say the victim was leaving her friend's house when 13-year-old Nelson Nunez grabbed her, forced her on a couch inside the Greenhaven community garden, and raped her, while 12-year-old Josiah Jones and Xavier Tyson, who was 14 at the time, restrained her. Police say Jones put rocks in her mouth to stop her from screaming.
What? Now, let me preface this. I had to catch myself because I did a reaction video to this and I had to catch myself. And the reason why I had to catch myself is because I still have to keep the same energy. Innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. I don't know how true this is. I can't say that it happened for a fact. But this is what's being alleged. This is what witnesses said that came forward. This is what her father is saying that called her name, which was the only reason that they saying that these boys stopped. This is what her mother is saying, and this is what why police are charging these boys as adults. They put rocks in her mouth to stop her from screaming. Do you know how sick you gotta be? They say that this was happening for at least 30 minutes. That one of the boys was assaulting her, and then 2 of the other boys was holding her down. What kind of prison is this? This is the type of stuff that you read, that you see on Oz, or you see on the movie Locked Up with Master P, which Master P did a really good job. I rewatched some of his scenes the other day, and he did a really, really good job on that. Master P was acting his ass off on Locked Up. I forgot if it's Locked Up, what's the name of it or whatever. This is the stuff that you see on a movie, right? This is some stuff that they describe in prison. They describe guys holding other guys down while another guy takes advantage of a person. Who would think to put rocks in her mouth to stop her from yelling and screaming? A 12-year-old girl. And one of the things that we don't talk about enough in the community, let me say this. One of the things that we don't talk about in the community, you know what we don't talk about? Let me give myself some space. We don't talk about how a lot of these kids grow up to be gay. They grow up to have trauma. They grow up to trauma bond. They grow up to be pimped out because they don't think that nobody loved them unless they putting their hands on them or sticking them We don't talk about how they all look to love through somebody else because they're not used to being told that I love you unless somebody is taking advantage of them when they little kids. It's a lot of kids that's getting taken advantage of, man. These young girls. And so that's why we so adamant and vigilant against our kids being assaulted under any circumstances. Listen, you could do whatever you want to do with your own life once you become an adult. But the one thing that we don't advocate for is kids to be taken advantage of like this, and to know that it's possibly, allegedly, because again, I like to say innocent until proven guilty, and to possibly know that these young boys was all watching. And it's another issue that I want to bring up too, was all participating and watching in some way, shape, or form, putting rocks in this little girl's mouth while she was being assaulted in a park. In a park. Is insane. It is insane. I'll say this because I have a daughter and I am vigilant for any possible thing that can happen to my daughter. I pray that I don't have this type of reaction, but I haven't made it there yet. And this is how I know I'm still trying to figure it out as a saint. I don't know if I could wait. Cause see, this happened last year. This happened in October 2025. They just now getting charged for this. Cause witnesses just now came forward. I would have to pray fervently that God somehow, some way pricked my heart or calmed me down, because I am not the type of person that can allow for anything physical that can happen to my daughter or anybody else around me. I would have to pray so vigilantly, because my natural instinct would be to crash out, because everybody got to go. Judge Dredd, jury, execution. What do you mean? I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk? I'm not negotiating with the police. I am the police at that point. I'm not. I have to pray, because I know that that's not the way to handle it. I know that throwing my life away and actually having that be basically throwing my daughter's life away, because she no longer going to have a father in her life, because I would be in prison for the rest of my life, right? I'm not sure that I don't want that. And I pray that something like that never happens, because I would imagine that any father would be on fire. My natural instinct. This is diabolical. This is absolutely diabolical. And I want to know who the parents are too. Who are the parents of these monsters?
The victim says
Allegedly.
It went on for about 30 minutes and the boys stopped when they heard her father calling her name. We've learned from the founders of the community garden Green Haven Project, telling Local 10 the situation has been very saddening. They say the garden is closed off to the public outside of normal operating hours, and on that day, a construction company cut the side gate, which allowed for anyone to enter the garden. The organization said it extended support to the victim, adding, "We will always be here to support in the best way possible, and that our extension of love and resources will always be available to the victim and her family, which we very much cared for." Both the 12 and 13-year-old are at the West Detention Center, both of them being held there without bond. As far as Xavier Taylor, the 15-year-old, we have not seen that he has seen a judge just yet, but when he does, we'll update you on what happens there. And we have also reached out to everyone involved in this case, their representatives, and that includes the victim in this case, and we have not heard back from anyone just yet. We're live in Miami. I'm Magdala Lucen, Local 10 News.
Two at 11 for months, a little girl lived with the horror of rape at the hands of 3 young boys.
Tonight in a one and only exclusive, the child's mother emotional in her demand for justice. Local 10's Byron Tollefson is live in Miami with this heartbreaking story, and nobody can even imagine their child going through this. Byron.
Oh, it's just awful, and we do want to warn you viewers before this story begins that this story is very disturbing.
I don't care if they get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, 100 years, guess what? I'm going to always feel like, as a mother, as a woman, I'm going to always feel like it's not enough.
A mother asking for justice for her young 12-year-old daughter after police say a group of boys took her into a community garden in Miami's Overtown neighborhood, and one of them raped her for 30 minutes.
At the end of the day, they did it.
The 12-year-old girl telling police she was leaving her friend's house and saw the boys in a parking lot. Police say that 13-year-old Nelson Nunez grabbed her and forced her onto a couch in the Greenhaven community garden. Then, investigators say 12-year-old Josiah Jones put rocks in her mouth to stop her from screaming, while Nunez raped her, only stopping when they heard her father calling out her name.
Because I must say, I'm angry.
Police say a third boy, Xavier Tyson, now 15, was also involved. All 3 boys are now charged criminally as adults.
Let me tell you something also. Let me say something else about this. And again, this is why I've been telling y'all this for years now. I was never the type of kid, ever. And I got to know who raised y'all. Honestly, I know the type of parents that raised y'all because it ain't no different than the people that is in this Me Too, go along, get along gang on the internet right now. I know who raised y'all. Y'all no different than these boys. Y'all was just like them. It just, the circumstances was just a little bit different. Because everybody is bandwagoners and everybody joins in when everybody else do something and can't nobody think for themselves. And so because nobody has a mind for themselves, it makes sense. It make perfect sense to me. Anton, why do you say that? When I was a young kid, I was always the type of kid that just wouldn't go. If everybody was going left, I was going right. If everybody was going right, I was going left. Because I had to understand, why is everybody following the crowd? And so you telling me that none of these little niggas was like, yo, this is crazy. Hey, man, I'm getting the hell up out of here, bro. I'm gone. Ain't none of these young kids, 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever ages that they were, you all got your mind, your good sense. Ain't no way in the world. That's why I got to know the whole story. I need to see this trial. I hope that the lead attorney, shout out to the lead attorney. I hope that the lead attorney actually covers this because I need to see it. I need to see the details of what really happened on this one as they charging them as adults because ain't nobody had no good enough sense to say, hey, man, this is crazy. Hey, man, you crazy, man. We don't do that. Nobody. Ain't nobody got the no parents was taught their children to stand up and you don't follow the crowd. You your own individual. So they ain't never gave you the speech. So if everybody jump off a bridge, you're going to jump off a bridge too. They ain't never gave you that speech. Nobody ever gave you that speech. You know that these young boys right here, they going to prison. They charging them as adults. That means that the minute that they're able to be put into an adult facility, that they are going to be in there with the big dogs, the 30-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, the 50-year-olds, the ones that's used to having new boyfriends every time somebody, when they coming through. Lockdown. Hey man, I got dibs on that young one over there. Niggas like Fleece. You know what Fleece told me? Fleece said he got locked up when he was 15? He said he caught his charge when he was like 14, 15 years old. I said, really? He said, yeah, man. He said, I had never known what a woman was until after I got off of prison. Yeah. He was doing like this. I had never known what a woman looked like, smelled like. You know, I was young. Young. So I was a virgin when I got locked up. I said, word, Fleece? He said, yeah. He said, so I had been locked up for so long,
And eventually, they all look like women to me. I didn't think I was ever getting out. So I said, might as well give me some booty. And that's when booty became more important than water. It became more important than water. I said, what? He said, yes. He said, so I see one. I said, that one's mine. And so you can either have it the easy way or the hard way. I prefer the hard way, but I take it the easy way.
These young boys, if they get convicted and they actually committed this crime, these is all boyfriends right here. Future boyfriends of America. Y'all better start teaching y'all kids. Y'all better start teaching y'all kids. If you don't teach them, somebody else will. If you don't teach them, somebody else will. And then, because they're not going to go to jail for life, right? So they'll eventually get out. And this is the cycle. So then they going to get them a little girlfriend. Let me find one in the chat. Who would be their girlfriend? Battle-tested Kane. He know what it's like. Love after lockup. Battle-tested Kane is the type of dude. I noticed this cornball face ass motherfucker. I know these type of niggas. These are the type of dudes that say shh, shh. And I say, dog, why you keep shishing homeboy over there? No reason. Then they go in the bathroom, have a conversation. Don't tell nobody that I used to be a girlfriend when I was in prison. Don't tell nobody I used to be a girlfriend when I was in prison. You know the prison rules. What's the prison rules, battle tested? What goes on in prison, stay in prison. We don't talk about that because we got our normal lives out here. We got our normal lives out here. That's why they got so mad at me when I did the interview. You know the dog. Listen, the people that got mad at me when I interviewed Fleece were niggas that used to be in prison. I don't know if y'all know that, but every nigga that said something, check it out. It wasn't the people. And let me cook. Let Time Dog cook right now. When I interviewed Fleece, because normal, everyday, law-abiding citizens that do not commit crimes, none of those type of people cared. They was just like, "Ooh, that's crazy, Time. Great interview. You should do part 2. I want to know more stories." The only niggas that was mad, the only niggas that reviewed it, that was pissed about it, was niggas that been to jail. Think about it. This is the honest to God. Listen, I ain't got to say their names. You know who they are. All of the people that was pissed off about me interviewing Fleece was niggas that was having flashbacks. You know why? They started talking that prison rule shit. Similar to the comedian. The comedian asked me, "You ever been to jail? You ever been to prison? Because you don't know what the prison rules is." I said, "No, nigga, why would I ever go to jail? Have you?" "No." "Nigga, what you asking me if I ever been to jail for?" "No." The answer is no. Definitively, no. The answer is no. Always gonna be no. We go on a commercial in a second. Your car. I got you. But all the people that was pissed at me was pissed. And they was like, "Man, we don't know." And I was like, why would I care, nigga? I got my wife was there. Security was there. His manager was there. Everybody was in the room. They was cracking up in the background. You can see me pointing to him and we all laughing and stuff like that. So we interview. I don't give a fuck. I want the good content. Similar to what happens with this whole scandal. I want the good content because I'm going to get the bag. I probably made no less than 35,000, maybe 40,000 off of that fleece interview. I'm not passing up 40,000 because you used to be in jail. Suck my dick. Because you having flashbacks, man, no, man, we don't interview that type of behavior. Cause we just don't talk about it. Hey, you ever been in jail before? Yeah, but I ain't never get involved in nothing. Bullshit. Nonsense. I ain't going for it. Use a lie. Use a lie, and the truth ain't in you. You a lie. They was all pissed off. I'm about to pass up my 40,000 because of your insecurities. I made so much money in that interview. I can't wait to do a part 2. I had my people reach out there. I said, man, you know we got to do a part 2. So we're going to do an even higher production one on this one. Yo. What's up? Yeah, what's up? Yeah. All right. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel. This is diabolical, though. This is diabolical. I'm praying for them that they actually didn't do it. I hope that they actually didn't do it. I don't want to think that they actually did it. I want to be very, very careful, and it's innocent until proven guilty. But what's being alleged is absolutely insane. What's being alleged is absolutely insane. All right. Again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. All right. Now, I was muted on purpose because you don't need to hear every single business call that I have going on. Let me read some of these super chats. Love Curly Hair says, we are living in the movie Wall-E. Good day, my king and all. I love that. Now, Love Curly Hair, you know I love that. You know I love it when you say good day, my king. Keon Bell says, I just text my son to consider drone operations cybersecurity expert for the Air Force and the Space Force instead of being a Marine. Pray he reconsiders. I think that that's a smart idea. I think that that is an incredibly smart idea. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, you saw the family forgave the officer that went into the wrong apartment in the end of that men life. I didn't see that. I didn't see that at all. 876 Vlog says, I don't know, man. Somebody got to go. I couldn't do it. Yeah, hopefully we wouldn't result to that. Call them out, AD, to 9 individuals. Shout out to my dog, Me University. I appreciate you. Roscoe says, if that was my daughter, they would make a movie about the way I crashed out. Now, we can't operate like that. We can't just think quickly like that, all right? Because we ain't going to be no good to nobody if we not here. Salute AD and the Bag Chasers. This is different from when Randy from The Wire was a lookout. Then he became the snitch of the neighborhood. Right. I can't wait to watch The Wire again. Nichelle says, AD, do you think they have to be registered as sex offenders? I think so. Yeah, because if they get in charge as the reason why they're able to show their image, even though they 12, 13, and 15, is because they're being charged as adults. So they're able to show their image. And I think they also have to register as sex offenders. My husband checks the registry for our area, and it's alarming. Most people have no clue how many people is around them. He's Brucey from The Longest Yard. Shout out to my dog, Manny Plays PC. More Than Mellow in the building says, got a bonus and a pay raise today. Let me hit the applause button for you. Hitting the 2-year in tech support and moving to cloud engineering soon. I want to super chat the 500 ball while I hit 100K. I'm going to appreciate that, and I'm glad that you're a bag chaser, my friend. When everybody else laid off, we're going to get that bag. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. So I want to go over to Block. A lot of y'all may not be familiar with what Block is, Block is formerly known as Square. I like to call myself a square. I am a square. Square Lives Matters. Shout out to all of the squares in the building. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Square Lives Matters. Shout out to all of the squares in the building. Block is owned and operated by Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey is the former creator and CEO of Twitter. He is also now the creator of a new one. I forgot what it is. It's like blue tweeting or something. A lot of liberals wanted to leave Twitter and they went over to that only for it to fail. It's just going to be another Threads. But it used to be Square. They renamed it into Block and then they made a few acquisitions, a bunch of other companies. I think that they own Cash App, if I'm not mistaken, or whatever. But they had a pretty profitable quarter. But one of the things that they also did was that they did layoffs. All right. So I want to deep dive into this for a second because they did do layoffs and they're blaming it on AI. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Billionaire Jack Dorsey announced his financial tech firm Block would cut its workforce nearly in half
Blue
as
Sky.
he anticipates
Thank
AI
y'all.
will
Blue
increase
Sky.
efficiency,
Thank you.
leading companies to reduce headcount. Block, owner of online payment apps Cash App, Square, Afterpay, and more, on Thursday reported 24% year-over-year growth in gross profits to $2.87 billion, fueled by 33% growth in Cash App's gross profit to $1.83 billion. Dorsey, in a letter to shareholders...
Let's stop there for a second. They own Cash App, they own Afterpay, they own Square, and it's all under one big conglomerate called Block, right? So Jack Dorsey, and they're having a 24% growth. 24% growth, meaning that more people are borrowing money, sending money, spending money, right? More people are using these applications than ever before. And you know what the interesting part about it is that none of y'all even be knowing who owns the majority of the shares of these companies that y'all continue to embrace, yet y'all say that y'all woke. None of y'all know any of these companies whatsoever, or none of y'all knew that the person that is running / owns the majority of shares in these companies are super liberals like Jack Dorsey that has a nose ring, almost like a bull ring in his nose, like all of the liberals and all of the ladies. And so y'all sit here and y'all talk about what y'all gonna do and what y'all gonna boycott. And y'all don't even know that some of the people that own some of the biggest companies and the year-over-year growth are people like Jack Dorsey. Let's continue.
As part of Block's quarterly earnings report, said the company would cut more than 4,000 employees, reducing the company's workforce by nearly half. Dorsey explained that, quote, intelligence tools have changed what it means to build and run a company. He asserted that with the company's internal tools, a smaller team is now able to, quote, do more and do it better, end quote, noting that the capabilities of these, quote, intelligence tools are compounding faster every week. Dorsey said he believed companies that have yet to reduce their headcount as AI increases workforce efficiency are, quote unquote, late, and that he believes a majority of companies will make similar structural changes. According to a November study from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, AI has the potential to replace 11.7% of the US labor market. This displacement is estimated to impact approximately $1.2 trillion in wages across 3 sectors: finance, healthcare, and professional services. The rapid advancement of AI over the past year has generated widespread concern that it could soon replace jobs across many sectors. These fears were amplified when Anthropic announced earlier this month that its Claude chatbot could automate tasks in areas like customer service, finance, and legal, rattling global software stock.
Let me say this about AI before we get into the Block layoffs, because I think that the whole blame AI is, it does 2 things. First of all, I don't think that it's true. They are not laying off because of AI. That is the biggest crock of bullshit that I've ever heard in my entire life. I called a couple of friends that still work in the industry that are high up in the industries. And what they told me is that this is a play, right? And the play is the minute that you're actually saying that you're laying off because of AI, the market will respond in a positive way because what it conveys over to people is that you're creating more efficiencies and eliminating redundancy. What does that mean? I talk about it inside of the Patreon when I tell y'all and I teach y'all the things that we look for when we're looking to invest in a company. Redundancy is people doing the same task across multiple different industries. So for example, let's say recently, one of the banks that I used to work at, Comerica, was taken over by Fifth Third, right? So let's just say they merged. But guess what? Both banks had their own infrastructure. Both banks had their own information and technology team. Now, usually the company that takes over another company then basically is buying out its assets and its customer base, and they're leaving the majority of their management and majority of IT behind because they don't need it. They already got their own IT. And so what they're doing is they're eliminating redundancy. You don't need two IT teams. You merge it into one, but the majority of the people that you leave, because you already have the infrastructure and you think that yours is better than the one that you're leaving behind, but you're just basically buying out their asset class, right? You're buying out all of the loans, you're buying out all of the wealth management, you're buying out everything within the bank, all of the infrastructure, all of the different, the different branches and things like that, but you don't necessarily need the same team. And this is how they often at times create value, right? They're creating a bigger company with less redundancy, less overhead, more profits, right? You're basically eliminating the waste. And so what they're doing by saying, hey, we're doing this because of AI, when in reality, they're just trying to create a more efficient company and they're trying to let more people go because they really have more people than they needed and they hired too many people during the pandemic. But instead of saying, hey, we're just doing layoffs, they're saying we're going to do it because of AI and to increase efficiencies, which then gets rewarded inside of the stock market. Your share price go up because investors are saying, oh man, this company is moving with the times. They're embracing AI and they're creating more efficiencies, when in reality, they already were implementing AI, and AI does not allow for you to actually get rid of a whole bunch of people. What it does is it allows for you to do more. So anybody that is utilizing AI effectively knows that you don't want to get rid of anybody. You just want to give more people more things to do that'll help you be more profitable or more efficient as a company. Actually, having AI implemented into your organization creates more work, not less. But it's also supposed to create more profits. It's just the facts. Thank you, my girlfriend, Crimson. I'm going to read that shortly. So when you see people, again, say stuff like, oh, my God, we're utilizing AI, and that's why we have to have layoffs. That's just corporate speak for we want to increase our valuation and our stock price. And it does not matter whether the company is super successful and super profitable or not. They're going to use that to reduce headcount. And I'll also do one for you better. All right. I'll do you one better also. This is what people don't understand. All right. You have to evolve with the times. And most companies haven't even figured out how to leverage or include AI in their workspaces. If you are using AI for customer service or a chatbot, I'm telling you that you are using it wrong. Because there's nothing more hated and nothing more disgusting, in my opinion, is having to A, either go through a bunch of phone prompts, or B, call in a customer service and hear they're saying, okay, let me look it up for you. When you hear this song, you hear this sound on the thing. I ain't got no nail. That aggravates me so bad. That aggravates me so bad when I hear it do that fake typing sound. And you call customer service and they say, and would you like to, and then you just keep saying representative. Okay, well, in order for me to route you to the right person, what is it that you're looking for? Representative. Okay, well, in order for me to route you to the right person, what is it that you're looking for? I have 2 accounts and I need to close one. Okay, 1 second, please. That is the most aggravating sound. I promise you I'll be ready to hang up right then and there. I'll be ready to just pull whatever business that I got going on with you. I'll be ready to pull business that I got with you immediately when I hear that fake typing sound. I said, oh my God, I can't stand it. I was adamantly against it when I was in corporate America. They was asking us, because, you know, I was a part of user experience. And so they were saying, yeah, you know, we could just do this in order to save. I said, listen, some things ain't worth saving money for. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. First time I get on the phone, every time I get on, representative. I just keep saying representative. I'd be so disappointed and so disgusted. I'd be so aggravated.
While some experts argue that AI will primarily complement and increase the efficiency of the workforce rather than eliminate jobs, several companies have already reduced their staff because of the technology. For instance, Klarna cut its workforce by 40% between December of 2022 and December 2024 as it accelerated its investment in AI. For more on this story, check out the article at the link.
Emily Mason joins us right now to talk a little bit more about Jack Dorsey's project that has been through a lot of fits and starts, and now a company that is going to be leaner.
Rhonda.
Is that the idea?
See you tomorrow.
Yeah,
or
I
tonight.
think Jack is kind of an innovator, and he really believes that he can run the business more efficiently.
For anybody that got to drop off, I know it's lunchtime for some of y'all in some places. I know in other places that y'all might be getting off of work a little early because you might be working a half a day, or maybe you got to go pick up your kids from school. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, and we got after hours tonight. Room 9 about to be popping, baby.
With fewer people by leaning on like AI tools and just making them more efficient. So they've invested in Goose, which is their internal tool, and they're really planning on leaning on that a lot.
Is there a sense here, though, when we talk about what this company is trying to be? And I know there's been a lot of speculation about its future, whether there could be a potential buyer, whether it would be a buyer for something else here. Is there any way to connect the dots there?
I mean, I think it's hard to speculate on, like, you know, PayPal's been the story this week. I think it's hard to say that they're going to swoop in and buy. I mean, it's always hard to tell with these things. I think based on this, it feels less likely, but that's kind of just me talking.
But does it seem like when you talk to management, this is a proactive move? Because at least if you were, I don't know, thwarting off an activist investor, you can say, well, we cut our workforce by 40%, so that buys us 9 months to turn the company around?
They're really trying to communicate that this is coming from a place of strength. Like, they're trying to highlight that they had a strong 2025. They've kind of increased their lending initiatives. They say that they're growing profitably, or they're growing their profitability. And they really want to communicate that this is coming from a place of strength. And that's kind of what's going on.
Listen, read this foolishness. A decision at this scale carries risk, but so does standing still. We've done a full review to determine the roles and the people we require to reliably grow the business from here, and we've pressure tested those decisions from multiple angles. Let me give y'all another secret about these companies, all right? And then I want to move on to the next thing, because I want to get to the last thing that I wanted to talk about, this Iman Shumpert and Shannon Sharp conversation about him saving half of his money. When you get laid off, or let's say you go through the interview process and they say we picked another candidate, if you go on these sites, whether it's LinkedIn, Indeed, so on and so forth, they still have that same job up. And they put up the same job. And guess what? These same companies are still hiring, and they hiring their ass off. They are just not hiring for your particular position. Companies that are successful and thriving always are still hiring, even after you get laid off. I'm just telling you the truth. They don't need to reduce their workforce. They need to reduce the jobs that they don't want so that they can hire for the jobs that they do want. Go online. They have plenty of jobs. And sometimes when they lay you off, before they lay you off, they'll tell you when they say, hey, you should apply, or you can apply to these other jobs that we have, but we'll give you priority, or we'll help you through the navigation process of getting laid off. At the end of the day, it's all business. It's all profitability. It's all about making that stock price pop. And it's all about running up a bag. Y'all got to stop taking it personal, and you got to start looking at it from a business perspective yourself. The minute that you start doing that is the minute that you thrive. We'll get to that later. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats, and then I'm going to go from there. Again, make sure that you guys are tapped into the Patreon, and after hours is tonight. We getting it popping, and it's going to be a fun time. I suspect that it's going to be a fun time. Promise you I'm going to drink a little bit before I get on there. So before I get on there, I'm going to be cognizant. I'm going to be focused. I'm going to be on top of things and all of that. Definitely. But, look, see, Ashley says, I got laid off a month ago, and the next week they went to a couple of booths at the to career fairs. Right. They didn't reposition you. They did not reposition you. You know what they did? They kept on hiring for the jobs that they want. And they kept it moving. And they was like, dang, man, I mean, we meant to get you, but shoot, we got something else that we got to get to. You know what I'm saying? Let me read some of these super chats. Couple of super chats. Oh, I got to read a couple of cash apps. My girlfriend, Crimson, is in the building. All hail Crimson. Greetings to you, Lord Anton, Lord of Zamunda. Yeah, always so dashing and debonair. I love that shit. You about to come to this city. Peace and blessings to you. And she be praying peace and blessings to me with her pretty self. Bad Habit says, would you ever consider having an AI-focused Patreon episode? I did. It's in there. If you want me to have another one to give you the updates, then I can give you that too. I'll do another one. I'll do a next one. I got you. Yeah, I got you. See, y'all don't be really going and deep diving into there to find out all of the gems that's in there. It's a lot of gems inside of the Patreon. You know what I'm saying? I want to get to this last thing because I want to utilize every single minute of our 3-hour morning show. I know everybody else be slacking, pretending like they really doing some work. They don't stream like we stream. They don't get money like we get money. They don't chase it like we chase it. They don't get bags like we get bags. Oh, let me acknowledge a couple other people real quick. Make sure I ain't missing no super cash apps. Shout out to my dog, Courtney Egger, in the building. Says showing love. Showing love right back to you. God bless you, big dog. I love you. All right. I'm back in the studio, Lamar, but I'm going to read that shortly. Last thing that I want to get to before it's all over is this conversation between Shannon Sharpe and Iman Shumpert. Now, I'm guessing that I didn't watch it yet, so I'm going to be reacting to it in real time. But the name of the episode, or the name of this clip in particular, is him asking Iman Shumpert about Odell Beckham saying that $100 million or losing $100 million is easy. And this is what he had to say.
Did you see Odell Beckham said $100 million, he went viral saying $100 million doesn't last a lifetime. We know in professional sports that 5 years after a person, 70% of the players,
Thank you,
football,
Reprimander.
basketball, after they leave the sport, if they're married, they're divorced. 5 years after they leave the sport, they're bankrupt. What happens to the money? Where the money go?
They be spending it. Mogs be spending. Like, I done been around Mogs that done had, now granted, I ain't make 400 million like they making now.
You right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I was broke. I remember broke.
Yeah.
Probably a month into my rookie year, a month in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm probably 2-3 checks in. Looking at my account, I can't go broke. There's no way I'm going broke. But the difference was, one, my brother always, him and my financial advisor have been taking half my check the whole time. So I never knew how much money I had. I just thought what I got in Bank of America. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
That's dangerous. I say this all the time, and I had this conversation with people all the time. That is one of the most dangerous things that you can do, is not know where your money is and where your money is going. Now, I understand and I agree with the whole idea. Yep, have them manage your money. Yep, have them take half or whatever so that you'll never go broke or whatever. But you need to know everything about what your money is doing, because there's so many people that's getting finessed because they don't know what to look for. They have no clue what to look for. You need to know who is managing your money. And as a matter of fact, you don't have to have nobody taking your money, man. You can put your own money up into whatever asset that you want to put it into in order to preserve your wealth and build your net worth. But if he put up half of his money, that's dope.
I told you that. Y'all scamming. Yo, I'm finna switch banks right after this shit. Hey, no, take every dollar out that account.
Well, he don't know he is at half. He got more than that.
But yeah, he just basically like, bro, if you don't know, how you gonna, like, if I'm looking at my account and I don't see nothing but a couple hundred bands, I'll never go spend a meal.
Right.
It's couple hundred bands in here. Like, why am I go spend a meal? And for my man, it's like from overdraft and $20 in your account, right, if that, you know what I'm saying? From going from that to seeing, just six figures, period, with just like, but then I noticed like all my teammates, everybody lifestyle was changing. The people I got drafted with, they all just like, it's like they couldn't wait to be rich. I'm like, nigga, I don't even know how to be rich.
That's normal, y'all. I'm telling you, that is so normal. Let's normalize. Ain't that what they say? But it's always for something really bad. Let's normalize allowing for people to get used to money that has never had money before. I had to get used to money, and I had never had money before. I was spending it as fast as it was going because I was like, man, I'm young and it's going to be here forever. Forever, ever, forever, ever. 2008 was like, nigga, who you talking to? Let me show you something. I was like, Jesus. Because it's one thing to be poor when you're young. Because you don't know you're poor when you're being raised a lot of times. Like, you know that you ain't rich, but you don't know that you don't have money. You know what I'm saying? You think you middle class. You think you're doing okay until you go around people that really have money. And that's what blew my mind when I went to middle school. But you don't really think about it when you're younger because that's just normal. Everybody around you is the same. We all playing football in the street. We all playing basketball in the morning. We all going to the Johnson Center in order to hoop. We always, you know what I'm saying? We go to the corner store. We ain't really need money because we was outside having a good time. When you hooping all day and you chasing hoes all day, only one person need a car. We got to ante up on gas. We all anteed up on gas. You know what I'm saying? We had enough money in order to get the car washed. We put our armor all on the tires and we going to get numbers. Nigga, we don't need no money. All we need is enough to be able to get to where we got to go and back. And we going to eat when we get home because we know mama got that good food in the refrigerator. And it's the first of the month. My homeboy's mama, it's the first of the month. So cash your checks and get on. That's the thing. We didn't know that we was broke. So all of our ambitions was to get to the plant. I told y'all this 1,000 times. Get to the plant. If I can get to the plant, if I can get hired by Ford, Chrysler, and GM, nigga, not only, nigga, I'm getting me a caddy, and I'm getting A-plan papers, and I'm good for the rest of my life, nigga. All I got to do is hold on to this job and stay in the union. "2008 said, nah, nigga. Let me talk to you for a minute, little homie. I feel bad for the young people these days because y'all got so much pressure on y'all. We just had to wear our brothers' hand-me-downs. Actually, it wasn't even hand-me-downs. We was just sharing. Whenever my brothers left or go to work, or whenever they left or whatever, I just go to their closet, get fresh, put on a Coogee. You know what I'm saying? Fresh as hell, fresh to death. And we good. We good. I'm gonna answer that in a minute. Elevate to I know. I'm gonna answer that in a minute. We good. Straight up. Wasn't all of this pressure. You ain't have to do all of this stuff. It wasn't that deep. You ain't had social media. Everybody was living their life and having a good time and in their own little bubble. So we got to normalize people getting money. We got to normalize what real money looks like. Because even when you get your first check at your job, your first big boy job or your first big girl job, That's not really having money. You don't really know what money looks like until you can have an account with at least 6 figures in it. And you can go and buy whatever you want whenever you want to. When you look at your assets and say, man, that's 7 figures. Man, that's just and you just go and ball out. You can do whatever you want. You don't know what money feel like until you make a purchase that feels scary until it starts feeling normal. That feels scary until it started feeling normal. I remember when I first bought my first Rolex, I was in Chicago. Because I had never spent that type of money outside of an asset, like a income producing asset, outside of a piece of real estate or a stock or something like that, right? But you don't really see the money. But when you see the money leave your account and you spending $10,000, that was my first watch. I think I spent like $9,000 and change or something like that. And I bought a Submariner, Submariner date. That was when you can go into the store and get them. And I was just like, wasn't no financing, wasn't no afterpay, none of that. You just buy it and just almost $10,000 just leave your account. It's like, Then you get used to it. And then it's not until you get used to it that you start to understand the dynamics of what money is. And then you start making adjustments. The smart ones will start making adjustments. But y'all got to remember, a lot of these guys is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. Most of them will not have any more than a 3 to 5 year career, especially if you're a football player. And you getting that money and it's supposed to last you for the rest of your life. It's not. So I can understand why they go broke. I can understand why they get divorced. I can understand why their lifestyle is up and down and then it's a crash. That's not abnormal because it's not abnormal for young people that are in their early 20s to ball out. It's just normal.
Y'all went and got the craziest car you could find. Like, I wouldn't even know how to start this. I got a Jeep. I had a gunmetal Jeep. I'll never forget it. Rhino skin on it and everything. They like Mello used to be mad at me. Like, Shump, you come up here with this goddamn Jeep, bro. Like I'm embarrassing him or something. His Jeep was like for like a day off.
Yeah.
Like he like my Jeep for taking off the doors and acting crazy in the summer. He like, you got a Jeep on a day-to-day?
Yeah.
He like, Shump, you know you could buy a Benz, this. And I just like, gee, I barely even drive.
Right.
Somebody said a watch is not an asset. Well, tell me that you don't know anything about life without telling me you don't know nothing about life. And of course they're going to say, no, man, I do know about life. I got money. I'm rich. Whatever. You're a liar. Listen, bro. Everything is either an asset or a liability. Everything that you have is an asset, regardless if it's a depreciating asset or not. And most watches, especially the ones that I buy, either hold their value or they increase in value. And I can wear it and enjoy it, and I don't have to worry about it ever depreciating, right? Everything, even if it's depreciating, your car is an asset. The only liability is the thing that you have debt on. Debt is a liability. An asset is an asset. If you want to calculate your net worth, you take everything that you got and you add it up. Those are assets. You minus out the liabilities. That's what your net worth is. Everything that you have is an asset. I don't know what school y'all went to. I don't know where y'all was taught this at. I don't know what HBCU you went to. But I'm going to need you to go relearn everything that they taught you because you're wrong. You're wrong.
You know what I'm saying? I just never was one of them excessive kids. Like, even with shopping, I'm like,
some of the assets you have,
like y'all. I was
it may not
go
be
to
worth
Demons.
a whole lot.
I was going to go to Barney's or whatever
but it's still
else
an
y'all
asset.
went.
Saks.
But I'm like, 3 of y'all came in looking like twins.
Yeah.
Y'all weird as hell.
All y'all did was buy everything off the mannequin.
Y'all mannequin boys. Mannequin man. Like, come on, mannequin man. I can't do that.
But I think the thing is, and people like, look, if you make, let's just say for the sake of argument, you make $100 million, we're going to take 50 away for taxes. Yeah. And just let's say for the sake of argument, with your financial people and your agent, they take 2 to 3%. So that's 5% total after that. Mm-hmm. So that's another $2.5 million. And let's just say you took care of mom, dad, and your family, and that's another 15. If you can't survive off $35 million, Shump, after you're done, you got a bigger issue. You could have made $200 million and you still would have been broke.
And then another thing, when y'all having y'all kids, like moms be having hella kids, but it's like that it's court system kids. Like you can't have excuse me.
Ooh, no.
Court system kids where it's like while you're playing, that BM is just draining your account per month, but you're not even seeing or feeling it because you playing.
Because you playing, yeah.
The moment you stop, you gonna start feeling it.
Yeah. If you make, I mean, 20,000, 30,000 a month ain't nothing if you making 40 million. You not making 40 million and they taking 20, 30,000 a month and you still got to pay private tuition, which is another 15, 20, 25 a month.
I do numbers though. I do numbers really well. It's always been.
Listen, ultimately what it comes down to is, for me personally, and you got to run your own race. Different people do different things that then lead to different results, right? You got to run your own race. For me, I always say stay down for 10 years and you can live the rest of your life the way you want to. Stay down for 10 years and then you can live the rest of your life the way that you want to. That's really all it comes down to. That's the hard part. The hard part is staying disciplined for 10 years, plowing everything that you have in assets, paying off your debt, reducing the amount that you owe, paying off your house, getting rid of your student loans, not having a credit card balance. Fuck credit for the first 10 years. You don't need credit for the first 10 years. You need to be building assets, not credit. Credit don't mean anything. You can get a trade line. You can become an authorized user. You can have a credit profile. That's nothing. It's to not put yourself in a hole behind an 8 ball. That's the goal. That's really what it comes down to. And then once you stay down, you can live the rest of your life the way you want to, and it's cruise control. For me, it was making sure that everybody was taken care of before I started taking care of myself. You know, I had to make sure that money was put up for my daughter, that her college was funded, that she had the houses, that we built the real estate portfolio, that, you know, everybody had everything that was paid off. My deuce was taken care of, all of that stuff. Once all of that stuff is done, it's up. Now it's up from there. Now we doing everything we will ever wanted to do for the rest of our lives, and you really can enjoy it because you don't have a worry. You don't have a care in the world. No matter what, all my stuff is, I don't have anything that's not paid off. I don't have any debt. I don't have any student loans. I don't have any of that type of stuff. But that's the life that you want to live. It's literally carefree. So the worries that you wind up having is based off of, what is it that I want to accomplish it more, and how fast can I get to there? I want to build 3-4 houses at a time. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to, so you be wanting to do more stuff. So then the carrot that you dangle in front of your face is to work harder, not to pull from your principal, so that you can continue to buy what you want and do what you want while still continuing to let that compound and letting your net worth grow. That's the play. That's the goal. Phenomenal show, as usual. Phenomenal show. We really are covering. This room gives me, this is like the subject covering room. Like, I'm paced way better in this room for some reason. I think I'm going to stay here for the most part. Tomorrow, well, let me read these super chats. Dresden says, Jesus Christ. What up, S. Dresden? I appreciate you. Laymar on air says, my dog is back in the studio. Facts. This is a good question. Elevate to the Unknown says, Anton, do you think platforms like Patreon or School will fade or lose creators with Claude Code and Codex? People can now build better custom subscription communities. I don't think that people are going to be doing that. I don't think that people are actually looking to do it, especially once you build a community online. Just like I would never leave YouTube. I could build my own website and have people, you know how hard it is to funnel people into your own website? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I think that more people, if you notice, more people are actually moving towards the Patreons. When I first got on Patreon, wasn't nobody really on Patreon. When I first did Patreon years ago, nobody was really on Patreon at all. At all. Now, all of a sudden, everybody is on Patreon. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. It's so funny, right? But exclusive content is the play. I think that exclusive content is always going to be the play. more creators need, I think are going to be moving towards that subscription model. If they are able to build a audience, but it's only going to be for the bigger creators. I think it's so dumb when I see smaller creators having a Patreon because you don't have any audience. You don't get no motion. You have no reason why people want to subscribe to you. People barely subscribing to you, to your regular channel. So until you can actually give them something of value, like a Joe Budden, like a myself, then it's no reason for you to start a Patreon. I think that you need to be focused more on getting some motion than you are on trying to get some money. And that's the biggest mistake that I see content creators make, is that they try to put the cart before the horse instead of getting some motion. That's why we bag chasers. We chase the thing that's best for us, understanding that the money is going to come with it and everything plays out the way it's supposed to play out. That's why I don't be in a rush. I'm never in a rush to launch anything. I'm never in a rush to launch merch. I'm never in a rush to do anything. I take my time and I do it right. Everybody a lot of times is in a rush and then they scare everything off. Greatest quote, I forgot what it was. I forgot what movie it was. He said, we can run down and catch one, or we can walk and we can go and bust them all. Take your time. Do it the right way. Get to the bag. Great show, great AI info. Shout out to my dog, Tony Nichols, in the building. Yeah. We getting there. All right, y'all, listen. After hours tonight, make sure y'all tuned in. We're going to have all of my friends and family. We getting it popping. Should be a phenomenal show tonight. And then we back at it tomorrow morning. I may do a regular live stream tomorrow morning. I may not be in here simply because I got to catch a flight in the afternoon. After the morning show, I got to catch a flight in the afternoon. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to be in the room, because it takes a lot more preparation to do the show in here than it does for me to do it out there. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to see y'all tonight. And again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. I'm out. Peace.